Well, nerds, in the time of COVID, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. We're bundled up now waiting for the end of Trump's raving, but the Meteor Men beg to differ this week, judging by the hole made by our voting signatures. Hey now, Biden's the next president and only shooting stars go over the moon. Welcome to the 216th episode of the Fake Nerd Podcast. I'm Sparks Whitty. I'm joined by Ryan Eliopoulos.
It's a good week here where I live in this state.
Brandon T. McClure.
It's definitely a good week in this state for sure.
And Ben Magnet.
I was partying in spirit. I wasn't actually partying in spirit like the second Death Star blew up because you about to lose your job. He's about to lose his job. Get out of the White House.
He bleeped himself. I appreciate it.
My job doesn't come back with his job leaving, so whatever.
I know that sucks, but we
can still be positive. We're allowed to be positive this week. Let us be positive.
But
yes,
a lot of unemployment aid probably comes your way with him losing his job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All positive this week, baby. Got to be positive.
Well, except for our first news item, but yes. Otherwise, that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it was politics. Election week happened.
It did.
Elections in America ever, and it's kind of happening.
It's a little bit.
My favorite meme was the Groundhog's Day. It's election day again.
If you've listened to our podcast before, you know what side we're on. We have
Joe Jorgensen.
Kanye West.
We're pretty stoked right now. It's good times. This all what I thought was going to be a very stressful, painful week turned out to be much better.
Yeah, no, we got live comments, baby. Bam, bam.
And before, hey Titus, how's it going, buddy?
Hey Titus says, "Hello everyone. I made a shout out video today, like never done before. We will check that out. Thank you, sir.
I love it.
Yeah, I feel like all four of us know that even though that Joe Biden wasn't our first choice for the office of President of the United States, we know that just because he got elected, it's obvious that all of our problems aren't going to change overnight. We just know that now there's going to be a better person, a better, decent human being in the damn office.
It's what I told my mother. The fight doesn't end with getting Biden into the office. It begins, and now we have a starting point.
Yeah, on my Facebook, I've shared some things about. I shared art. I even says like, look, even when he does take the office, the work isn't over. The work will still keep going. The work just begins.
Forever and ever.
I can't believe how much of the world celebrated yesterday. That was so crazy. You have to have been such a bad president. And I just say, cheers, everyone. He's out.
No, hold up.
Not sponsored by Carl's Jr.
Hold up. Vamp for 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Is that a regular root beer?
Yeah, it's
good.
Zero sugar root beer.
Ooh,
wow, spicy.
Not spicy enough for Biden, I guess.
Because Ben left. Let's get into our week.
Sure, Ben, go first. We'll wait.
Okay, Ben.
Dodgers.
Are we really doing this?
Awesome, Titus.
Oh, K. Titus says I'm a Republican, but I voted for Biden. Oh.
I appreciate that you voted at all. That's important.
Yeah. Honestly, I just want people to vote, even if I don't agree with them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm going to get my week started because I want Ben to be here for our actual conversations. No, he's there. Hi, Ben. He's just drinking a root beer, You didn't have to go and
Nope. I know. I wasn't trying to one up Sparks. He's right. This is time for celebration. I gotta crack that shit open.
Please drink responsibly.
Yeah, please drink responsibly.
Please drink anywhere. It's COVID.
That's true. Ben, while you're cracking shit open, why don't you crack open your week?
Jesus Christ.
All right, bye.
I really want you to just fall out of screen.
Did you guys see the evangelical, the televangelist who was
Kenneth Copeland?
Yeah.
He was like, the media called ha 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 ha. I was like, whoa, buddy.
I want to combine him and that is it Nikki Haley, the Rita Repulsa lady?
Oh geez.
Was that Nikki Haley?
I don't remember
who it is.
I don't remember.
My notes into a
Oh, you're not talking about the actual. You're talking about who's like the lady who's like the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
I have no.
Rita Repulsa was a good image.
But anyways,
you know what?
Virtual cheers first. Virtual cheers.
I already did mine. You know what? To democracy. She was right. The best was yet to come. That's enough politics. Let's get into our week.
Unfortunately, that was my week. I woke up. already voted. I put my vote in on the 20th of October. I did my shit early. And oh damn, everyone see that thing from Titus right there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were gone, Ben. We talked about it.
Sorry. I was getting my delicious adult beverage.
Yeah.
Frack was it?
Don't drink and then say you're weak. Did you do anything that didn't involve moving or the election? Did you consume any media this week that you want to shout out?
Unfortunately, not really. It was the one thing I did do was yesterday I streamed a little bit on Twitch for a hot second. I was playing with Sparks and our friend Pi.
Oh.
And we played a little bit of Fall Guys, which I need to talk to Ryan about because I need to figure out how to save my damn Twitch streams, which for some reason I can't do that on my phone.
No, you got to use the internet. You can if you want to be a streamer, Ben, you need a computer. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
if you want to be a streamer,
you gotta have a computer.
Luckily, once I get all moved in, I'll have a better setup. Besides that, so speaking of Fall Guys, there's this one skin that I know you got, Brandon and Sparks. It was the Godzilla skin that came out, and
because not only was it the election, it was also Godzilla's 66th birthday.
Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun,
Happy birthday, Godzilla!
Happy birthday
for 3 more years. That's the one that's celebrated.
Yeah, I think that birthday would be nice.
Pretty nice.
Yeah. So I haven't won a single round. I was only getting crowns through the level up process. So when I went to work on Friday night, I'm thinking I'm probably not going to get it. I mean, I had 9 crowns. I just need 1 more crown, and I had 3 levels to go to get the extra 5. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm probably
Wait, you had 9 crowns. You don't need extra 5. You just need 1 more crown.
No, because where I was leveling up, the next crown where they give you free crowns, it was 5 extra crowns.
Right.
But even though I only needed the 1, I thought, all right, it's going to take too long for me just to level up, and I've lost every single damn final I've been in. So I'm like, you know what? I might not just get it. Some people just be like, oh, why don't you just get the half you like? It's like, yeah, but then I don't want that though. Although there have been some cool mismatches of Godzilla breaking out of an egg or something, but. So I'm at work and it's close to the end of the night, and then I check my phone. Fanny won me the last crown.
Nice.
So Fanny won her first round of Fall Guys, and she got me the Godzilla suit. So thank you, honey.
That's amazing.
I'll bounce off of that if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Because I was tell.
Yeah, because I was also working pretty hard to get the Godzilla skin. I really wanted it. And I'm really I can get to the final level of Fall Guys, but I can never win. So I was gonna level up. I was gonna be 1 crown short.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to paint this day with a little bit of context. This was Tuesday election day.
Yes.
And Brandon had texted me, and he was already pretty upset because he'd been doing a lot of Fall Guys by himself, and he's heading into election day, and he's like, can you play some Fall Guys with me? And I had a midterm due the next day, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just do Fall Guys because I don't want to think about my midterm and I don't want to think about the election. So we spent hours playing Fall Guys.
I was playing it for 3 days, and I texted Sparks, and I was like, I'm really starting to hate Fall Guys. Like, I'm leveling up, but it's such a grind because you know, if you die the first round, you get a little bit of points. And so on Tuesday, I just texted. I was like, I'm gonna be doing this all day. If anyone wants to hop on, I'd appreciate it. And Sparks hopped on. So we played it for hours and hours, and we were leveling up, and we were doing the thing. And Sparks would help me if we were on the final level. Like he would help me try to win 1 because I just needed to win 1, so I didn't have to level up to level 26. And then on that day, I bought the top half of Godzilla, and it looks great. And we're doing the last round. This was the last round. 4 days of just playing Fall Guys straight, guys. 4 days. And we're doing it. Sparks, well, it's just me, Sparks, and one other dude. And Sparks goes to hold the dude to stop him from winning. And it doesn't work. And Sparks gets thrown off the platform. And it's just me and this dude. I'm like, this is it. I'm done. I was so close. And then that dude gets kicked off the ledge. And I win. And it was the happiest moment of my life.
I think I heard that scream from upstairs.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, oh, that sounds like a victory.
Yeah, because we had... It was Megan was working at home here, but she was sitting on the couch, and so she's watching and also keeping Brandon and I informed of how voting's going up to that point. and Brandon's coming through the TV audio wise, so we all just are like cheering when Brandon wins. It was good to celebrate something on a day when we were afraid we weren't going to be able to celebrate.
Yeah. Oh God, I cannot tell you how many people including some supervisors at work. While I was at work, they were checking their phones just to see what was going on. People were rushing. Yeah, people were rushing in. But I have to say, one huge thing about this, as stressful and as anxiety-filled this election was, the memes were the best. So blessed be the meme boards. Blessed be them. I was cackling in my break room when I saw the Dragon Ball Z fight meme.
Yeah, that was good.
Of freaking Biden as Gohan, Obama as Goku, and Trump as Perfect Cell. It was people were staring at me while I was watching this on my phone because I was laughing so damn loud.
Can I real quickly jump back to politics for a second? I am so happy to be wrong. I've never been more happy in my life to be wrong about something. 4 years ago, I said that unless we defeat the problems that allowed him to be elected, we would see another term. We'd see it. And I did not believe that Biden was the person to do it. I didn't. I was not confident in Biden's resolve to beat him. And when I woke up on Friday or Saturday and he had passed the 270, I have never been more happy to be wrong about something.
Yeah.
Never in my life.
No, it's so true. And speaking to the memes that Ben brings up, I know there's been a moment, but I can't think of it in recent memory where I felt like so much of our country was in tandem on the internet, just kind of all, so you're all staying awake tonight to see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Hey, here's some self-love. We're not finding out the answers tonight. Go to sleep. We're going to check in tomorrow. You'll know when it's over.
Twitter. Yeah, Twitter.
Oh, God.
I couldn't sleep on Tuesday night. I woke up at 5 a.m. Tuesday. I went to bed at 3.
So because of the Fall Guys thing, I was up until Wednesday night at midnight the next night when my midterm was due. So I stayed just straight up through Election Day, all through the night. I saw Trump come out at 1 a.m. and do his stupid press conference. I saw all of it unfold over the next, because I just had the Twitch stream going while I'm working on the midterm, and I'm like, oh my Lord, Election Day was its own event.
So,
my stars.
Stars. So I have to give a little bit of a shout out to a friend of the show, Jen, the Key Thief. Bless her. Just all the blessings to her. Because I mean, obviously, election. I posted on Twitter her drawing of me saying "Don't be a dick," and at the same time, I was constantly looking. I wasn't constantly, but I was scrolling through Twitter like 4:00 in the morning on Thursday night, I believe, and she's like, "They took I'm not sleeping until they take Pennsylvania. Yeah. I'm not sleeping until he gets delayed in Georgia."
The relief I felt when I saw that Pennsylvania and Georgia were going to turn blue.
Man.
Oh, man.
God, it will always be ingrained in my mind. Once again, another meme, the Endgame meme with Trump as Thanos, Biden as Captain America, and then
that one's a little too much.
Yeah, but a little too much. I'll even go so far as to be like, I don't.
The one where they're doing where they're literally putting the faces on, because I like the one where they were doing the states.
The states.
But I know
where Sean Connery shows up. Like, okay,
yeah, that one was too much. But I did like how
it was funny though.
How Lindsay Ellis was like, each one reveal is somehow more insane and more buffoonerish and entertaining as it goes. And I'm like, it's pretty true. It does get absolutely increasingly ridiculous.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Anyway, so Ben, that was all you did this week. So
I didn't do much, unfortunately. I was glued to the thing. I was the only other thing besides that was my World Series Dodgers gear. My hat and my shirt came in. My hat's back there.
Congratulations.
But a bigger victory was won this week, I feel, for the United States of America. So
okay, so Sparks Ryan, which one?
You bet. How about you, Brandon?
Okay. Did you want to say you, bitch?
No.
Okay, yeah, I don't have a lot because this week Zara came back. So I spent most of my time with her. I haven't seen her in about a month. So she brought back the dogs, and so that's been nice. So we watched a lot of stuff together. We watched Halloween Town when she came back. Oh, hello, Mag.
Heyo.
Hi, Mag.
Heyo. We watched Halloween Town because we didn't get to watch any Halloween movies over the break over October because she was gone, and I ain't doing that on my own. So we watched Halloween Town, which is a nostalgic classic for me, but boy, that acting is bad. And that transfer, I'm gonna say it, that transfer to a widescreen 16:9 transfer is atrocious because it was clearly shot in 4:3 because it's a TV movie.
Yeah.
So transferring it to 16:9 is just so bad with the people's heads and chins are cut off.
Everybody knows Halloween 2 is the true masterpiece gem of the franchise.
Hell yeah, Calabar's Revenge. I watched Sparks who did not join us. Sparks who did not join us for movie night this week.
No, Megan and I both did not because I was finishing my midterm that night. Yeah. So no, I did not.
But we watched it on that movie night. We watched a movie called Holiday. It's a new Netflix original holiday movie about Emma Roberts hooking up with this Australian guy every holiday, and spoiler alert, it's a romantic comedy. They fall in love. That's an hour and 44 minutes. It feels like 2.5. So that's because it's just a series of vignettes. So it's like, here's the start of the scene, here's the end of the scene, start, sit, and it's just like skits. And I feel like if you had just pared down the holidays, it would have been a more cohesive film. Otherwise, I honestly thought it was hilarious. Nobody else in our group did. So don't take my word for it. I thought it was really funny though. I talked about Fall Guys. I did the Godzilla for Fall Guys. I beat it. No, I finished The West Wing.
Man, you beat the shit out of that West Wing, didn't you?
Beat the shit out of The West Wing.
You saw The West Wing
beating it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many seasons was West Wing again?
7.
And that's 22 episodes per season, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you beat the shit out of it, dude.
So I almost quit during season 6 because of how bad season 5 and 6 were. Season 1 through 4 is incredible. Like some of the Aaron Sorkin's best writing. Martin Sheen is an incredible actor. All the actors are just so good. But I wanted to stick through season 5 and 6 because I knew that season 7, John Spencer, who plays Leo McGarry, who is the president's chief of staff, his childhood best friend, Sterling K. Brown in the new special, which is weird. But he dies during the filming of that season, and he's running for vice president. So he's a big part of that season.
Wait, we have a visitor.
Oh, from The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Thank you. This is the way. Thank you, Mandalorian. Bye. Check out the Fake Nerds Watch.
Speaking of Fake Nerds Watch, Mandalorian season 2 is in the description below. So I knew 2 things about season 7. 1, that John Spencer dies, and 2, that Bradley Whitford gets together with the girl that he's been flirting with for 7 years. Donna Moss, his secretary turned rival campaign advisor. And so I wanted to see those 2 events, how they handled those 2 events. The first event, which is John Spencer's passing, is handled very well. The character Leo McGarry dies on election day when he and Jimmy Smits win the election to be president and vice president. Jimmy Smits in the show becomes the first Mexican president. And he's running as a Democrat. And Alan, all the things. Mandalorian, we don't have time for a conversation, sir, but we are doing fine.
We're doing pretty well, Mando. We're doing pretty well.
Fine. And Bradley and then the other moment is just so sweet because you've been watching these couple relationships move through the series, and you're always kind of rooting for them, and they finally get together, and it's such a great moment to see if you like that sort of thing, which I do. Throughout the show, the acting is great. In fact, the acting a lot of times saves it. All in all, because it ended so strong, I actually am going to change my opinion and say it's a solid show. If you can power through 5 and 6, which I understand is a chore because of 22 episodes per those seasons, there's still good performances, but season 7 more than makes up for the mistakes of that season.
Cool.
So I really enjoyed it. I finished Love Life on HBO Max with Anna Kendrick. That's her streaming show. It's good. It's cute. Cute little thing. Not really a whole lot to say about that.
Okay.
We finished Sparks God of High School.
Yes, we did. We finished God of High School this week. And
is he the god of college now?
Nope. Oh. But he is very blatantly the Monkey King in that episode. They hold nothing back about tying the direct allusions to that.
The animation, choreography, and music is incredible.
Yeah. Everything we've said about the show in previous episodes up to this point holds. That the show just kind of like doesn't know how to translate what it's trying to be, or how its world really functions, or balance its characters properly.
Yeah. The final fight is meant to be super emotionally charged, but I don't care because those characters haven't interacted before now. Not at least in any significant way.
I mean, I cared about the transformation that the main character goes through in like uncovering his past, but other than that,
But I don't understand what it means in the context of that fight.
No, well, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything in the context of that fight, except it means he can win.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Hopefully next season's better. Maybe I'll watch it. It's dubbed on HBO Max. I started a show called Grace and Frankie.
I know that.
I needed a show to kind of just put on the background while I work. And this is Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Martin Sheen, and Sam Waterston. All four of which have been in Aaron Sorkin projects, The Newsroom and West Wing, which was really funny. The show, for those of you who don't know, I think all of us here know what it's about. Martin Sheen and Sam Waterston are lifelong business partners who turned gay lovers. And they're married to Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda, and they leave them to marry each other because after 40 years of business partnership and 20 years of a secret gay relationship, they decide that they want to be out and proud and marry each other and be there for each other. It's really sweet. Martin Sheen is having a blast, and it's really fun to watch him now post West Wing, so far after West Wing, just kind of be gay, and he's having such a good time with it. And I think it's fun because of Martin Sheen and Sam Waterston. Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin are still doing great performances, but I watch it for how much fun the guys are having.
Not for Grace and Frankie.
No, unfortunately not, but I like them still. So I'll report back the more I watch that show. I'm only in the first season. Started and finished was our Haunting of Hill House. I obviously had never seen it before, so I've been hearing a lot of hype for years. Obviously, Bly Manor just came out, so I wanted to watch Haunting of Hill House. That show's spooky.
It sure is.
Multiple times, my body has made a noise that it's never made before. Because there's many moments that just like smash cut to something scary, and I just flip a blanket over me. So I got so scared. That was very scary. A very scary watch. Very good watch. I don't quite think it nails the ending. Even though I do think it nails the emotional ending of its main characters. I don't think it nails the kind of like the ending of the house. I don't think the house comes to a perfect ending. But other than that, I think the show is really solid and really great.
I kind of get what I don't want to talk about it here, but I would be interested to talk to you about that at some point, because I think maybe what you're alluding to, I interpret it as intentional, but we'll talk about it some other time.
Sure, definitely. In no way impedes how I feel about the whole show, the show as a whole. I still think the performances are incredible. Grace McKenna, who I really like, even though never seeing the show, which is arguably where she got her big start. I really like that show.
Yeah.
And then just today we started Haunting of Bly Manor, which is also very good.
Oh wait, what? Did you just watch one episode?
Two.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're probably going to pass us at the rate you'll be able to go.
Zara wanted to watch it, and I didn't want to rewatch Hill House quite yet. I'm getting there, but not Hill House. His house. I'm getting there, but I wanted to watch something else, and she wanted to watch something spooky, so we did Hill House and now Bly Manor. I'm really happy to see that Bly Manor, the girl who plays Nell from Hill House, gets a bigger role in Bly Manor. Really happy to see that.
Yeah, all those people come back in different ways.
Yeah, that's really cool. Hill House, by the way, I do want to point out, and I'm sure it's been pointed out to death, the single take episode is one of the greatest filmmaking achievements I've ever seen. That is an incredible episode. That's only until the end, just 3 cuts.
Yeah,
right.
That was so cool how they handled that, how they did that.
Agreed. That was a great episode.
Theater.
There is a equally impressive for different technical reasons episode that we just watched this week.
Nice. So yeah, I've only seen 2 episodes of Bly Manor. Really good, really spooky. So far, the background ghosts seem to be more important than the background ghosts were in Hill House, which was an interesting choice, and I can't wait to see where those go.
I will say, how many episodes have we watched?
5.
Okay. I will say, like, no spoilers. Like, I don't think this show is nearly as scary. Like, not even close. But
I'm
that's
okay
not
with that.
No, yeah, and that's fine. Like, it's going for something different, and is definitely more like gothic drama, which it's all the character stuff is so good,
top notch.
Yeah,
top notch character stuff, and I'm like, that's all I need. It doesn't need to be
because it's still
100% scary.
Yeah.
I am okay with that. As broken as my voice is from watching Hill House, I am okay with that.
Yeah, I feel you.
Okay, that's my week.
Awesome.
I'll go, I suppose.
Wait, real quick. Sorry. There's stuff in the description below. We got Animal Crossing down in the description, and our basement arcade Animal Crossing, and our Mandalorian Figures Watch description.
You're that Mandalorian?
It's you.
Also, he called us younglings. How old are you, dude?
Younglings.
I don't know, but hey, I'm okay with him calling me a youngling. I'm totally with it.
Yeah, we did get our Fake Nerds Watch Mandalorian video up today. That is episodes 1 and 2 of the new season, chapters 9 and 10.
Bing bong. Heck yeah. So that's going into my week. I watched 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. We have a Fake Nerds Watch on that, as we said 10 times. But spoiler alert, I think that show's radical this season.
So, I rewatched the first episode this morning.
I came down and I heard like, yo, is that a Crate Dragon again? Still looks good. Second time, I'm not gonna lie. So let's start with my Warhammer 40K rabbit hole that I've sunk my face into. So I've always been a fan of Warhammer, but just these last couple months, mostly because of Humble Bundle, I've gotten a bunch of books and audiobooks, and I've had a bunch of games on Steam for years. Actually, I played a game that I haven't played since 2013, and seeing that, I was like, wow, man, time's crazy. So the first thing I'll talk about is Warhammer 40,000 Perdition's Flame, which is an hour-long horror story about a deserter stuck on a ghost ship. And guys, it's awesome. It's impossible to talk about some of the stuff without just going into some of the lore, because there are very few universes that are so completely different than ours. Like, you know, you go to like a Star Trek, like you recognize stuff from humanity. Warhammer is so into the future. Shit just is unbelievable, right? But the Imperial Guard, who are not the Space Marines, who are used to saying the Space Marines are the giant, hulking space armor guys, they make up they're the Master Chiefs, but the army is still made up by regular dudes, the Imperial Guardsmen, and they are basically the Russian allegory of Russian commissars and Russian comrades, and like togetherness and fighting in groups of many. But this one guy deserted because he hated his friends and he didn't want to die, and he ended up on a ghost ship, and his past is coming to haunt him. Also, there's an Inquisitor there who hunts demons who might have something that is causing the ship to be haunted by ghosts. But she's like, you can't come near this thing or I'll kill you. So there's a lot of drama. It's really well acted. It's a great audio drama. You know, it's much like Templar, which I talked about last week. It's fully performed, you know, the steps and the music. And it actually really spooked me. And I was like 15 minutes in before I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then something happened. And it did like a music sting when something scary happened. And I was in my bed and I got a chill. And I was like, oh shit, you guys. It's awesome. That's what I love about horror stuff. Like when you can do that effectively, it's great. And then it just gets spookier and spookier, and it ends on like what was real the whole time. And I'm like, I love you. Thank you, Warhammer. So I listened to that. It's fantastic. I love it. I played 2 more hours of Space Marine. That's the third-person shooter Gears of War-esque game. That game's still really fun. I'm almost done with that. I got 2 more chapters. This is a nice 6-hour shoot 'em up. Real fun. Dawn of War is a game that came out in 2004. And it is a real-time strategy game, much like StarCraft or Warcraft. You know, you build a base, you build different bases, different armies, stuff like that. Since then, the modding community, because Dawn of War is like the best, quote unquote, the best Warhammer game for fans. So for 16 years, that game has been modded to hell. And so I downloaded like 15 years worth of mods that turned that game into a 40-person squad into a 400-person squad, and the map size literally doubles in scope. And because I have a nice sweet computer, I can literally have 500 units on screen with these giant kaiju-esque titans stomping over them. And I'm like, this is Warhammer, baby. This is why people play that tabletop game. And it just, you know, took a while for the games to get here. They just need to make a new one. That's all you got to do. Just make a new one, baby. But that's it. Guys, Warhammer's so great. I'm so into the whole It Hurts. There's a new issue coming out, I think, next week. Very excited. Let's see. I played a game called Hades. Hades is probably going to be many people's game of the year this year. That is a roguelike game where, if you don't know what roguelike means, it is a procedurally generated game. So every time you die, the map changes around you. But it is all Greek mythology inspired, and you are the son of Hades trying to escape, and you're getting help from the Greek gods. And it is a procedurally generated game that actually has a really good story. And I don't normally like these types of games because they're games that, because everything is procedurally made, you can't really have a story to it. But the structure of Tartarus, of Hades' place Tartarus, it is a prison, so it reforms itself on purpose. So it actually has a story reason for it to be different when you die. And the gods, every time you die, keep saying like, "Hey man, you died this way," or like if you get killed by a certain enemy, it's like, "Yo, it's crazy he got shot by that skeleton, but maybe this will help you." And it's super dynamic. And the writing is so good, and the characters are so hot, and it's just so fun. It's a really, really fun game. It's only like $15-20. I think, Ben, you would really like it. It's definitely one of those like retro type of games that's super fun. You'd probably like it too. You played Dead Cells.
So friends of ours who we do anime night with and movie night with, they're already playing Hades. And so I was watching with them on stream earlier this week before we did God of High School. I think, Brandon, you were watching Hades play as well.
There you go.
And so we were talking to them about it. And both of them have gotten like hardcore sucked into this game. I almost got it when it was on the October sale. So did our buddy Travis.
Yeah,
and we both forgot to purchase it, and so we're like, okay, well, we might get it at a later date, and I'm holding off now because I might get it for Switch instead.
Yeah.
Because it seems like a game that maybe Megan would enjoy playing, and that's more likely to happen on the Switch than on my computer.
And that's a game where it is entirely run based. Where like it's not like a Left 4 Dead or Last of Us, where it's a narrative story. Like you go as far as you make it, and then you die and you restart, and then when you go through the map, everything's different again. So that just makes it really fun to just jump in and do one run or do like 10. So I'll beat that eventually, I'm sure. I didn't get very far into it. Last thing I'm gonna talk about is all the comics I read. I got many more than this, but I'm only gonna talk about the ones I read. Lonely Receiver continues to be a really great book about relationships and technology. I'm not going to go into it too much, but that's still a terrific book. This issue was all about denial and this lady was in a relationship with an AI, and she's convinced that the new person that she's dating is that AI trying to trick her, and it's not. And she's just in denial, and it's super rough, and it's like the art is so beautiful, and it's just such a weird book, and it's just it's a book that I really appreciate it's even getting made. Wolverine, Black, White, and Blood. Just a really stellar piece of art, you guys. It's just all flashback stuff like, oh, Wolverine hanging out with Nick Fury, Wolverine killing Hydra agents. But the art is insane. It is truly insane. And anytime there's ever blood, that's the only time there's red on the thing. That's why it's Black, White, and Blood. Very cool. Not necessary for the X-Books, but it's just a good piece of art. Deceased Dead Planet. God damn it, you guys. Tom Taylor's a good writer. I can't handle it. He does things with characters, he gives characters evolutions, and certain characters who aren't part of the Shazam family now become part of the Shazam family. It's so cool. I love it. Web of Venom, Empire's End. Did you pick this up by any chance?
I did, but I haven't read it.
That's fine. No, yeah.
I have not read it either, but I picked it up.
Okay. That's just a one shot about a bunch of aliens dealing with Null. It's just a nice little one shot. It's not super important, but it's like the pre-invasion attack.
The tease.
Every single event has one of these types of comics.
Yeah, I have picked up every Web of Venom series, and even if they don't seem important at the time, they tend to become very important later on.
Yeah. And the art was very, very good. It's not Donny Cates, but it's still a pretty good book.
Yeah.
X of Swords. That had 2 awesome issues. That book is still coming out, guys. Got 8 more issues. The last book I want to talk about, guys, and I'm shocked to say I'm disappointed in it. It's called Crossover. It's a new Donny Cates book. Did anyone read Crossover yet?
I picked it up, but I've honestly heard nothing but good things.
I have a different Twitter feed than you.
That's true.
Yo, guys, how do you feel about a bunch of white comic book people being the marginalized group in your comic book? Kind of sucks. I'm gonna be honest. It feels very. It just feels like Donny Cates didn't read the room when he wrote the first issue of this comic, and it also doesn't. I don't think the presentation of the big event of the crossover, at least in this first issue, doesn't give me enough to chew on. It's definitely a thing where oh, this is going to run 100 issues. You just got to be on board. The first issue didn't give me nearly enough for me. And also, again, making comic book fans the people that are hated and disparaged in the world just feels really odd. Because your main characters are both white people. That's me. But that's also the 2020 world I'm living in. Maybe if this comic came out in 1999, it'd be great. I'm gonna give it one more issue because the ending's pretty dope. But besides that, I'm kind of shocked at this comic a little bit.
Yeah, you mentioned that you and I have very different Twitter feeds. You follow a person that I specifically will not follow because of how shameful he makes me feel.
Okay.
So and it is his commentary that I heard the same coming from for the same thing that I just heard from you.
Sure.
But all the people that I follow on Twitter, that I try to follow because I try not to get too many people who are going to share too many negative thoughts because I don't want that on my feed, and because it makes me feel terrible when people unintentionally try to make me feel like I'm a bad person for reading a comic that I like.
Sure. Yeah.
So I try to stay away from a lot of that. But that said, like people like Patrick Willems, who I follow, all said it was like a really great debut issue. So I'm still excited to read it. I haven't yet, but I don't know. I'll reserve my judgment.
Hey man, that's great. Donny Cates is a human being. Not everything has to be 10 out of 10. I thought this first issue was a really big misfire. That's all.
I'm definitely not saying that is the case.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it one more issue. Jeff Shaw's still a great artist. Felt very tone deaf, and it happens sometimes. Yeah. And that's Classic Comics. That's it.
Megan and I finished The Owl House. We finished it actually today. That show's super good. I really like. I'm just gonna compare it to like Disney cartoons because Cartoon Network's doing its own thing. It's so very clearly born out of part of the team that made Gravity Falls, but taken in a new direction. Alex Hirsch is involved as a voice. I don't think he's writing anything, or he might be just a little bit. But it's spearheaded by a different showrunner, Dana Terrace, and that show is solid and different from Star vs. the Force of Evil, where I think Star didn't really know what it wanted to be until it was at the end of season 1. This show knows out of the gate exactly what it wants to be. It knows how to present itself to you. It's very direct. It's very consistent in its humor and its tone. I think almost everything about it works in every way. I really, really enjoy it, and I cannot believe that there's a Disney Channel cartoon that has a bisexual female lead who is also openly flirting with another female lead.
That's so cool.
It being reciprocated. Like, it's something.
They made Motherland. Slowly getting better.
For sure. But I mean, like, specifically, like, I kind of talked about Ben about this with Ben. Because I'm going to be writing a paper on Owl House, which is what drove the impetus to watch it right now, related to queer LGBTQ representation in children's cartoons and how that goes against the regulations that have been in place for a very long time about children's programming. So, like, doing Motherland is a little different.
Yeah.
So I just, what a time. Like, this is happening across cartoons, but seeing it happen on a Disney cartoon is a pretty big deal, which is really cool. That is a super solid show. I highly recommend it. It's very well done.
How many episodes was it?
That is 19 episodes first season. That is out on Disney Plus right now.
Right on.
Haunting of Bly Manor. We did watch one more episode this week. That episode was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Maybe my favorite of the season. I really like what they were doing with it. It's probably the least scary of the season, but it's also like the best character drama.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Which I really enjoy. On my own, I played a bunch of Fortnite.
Ooh, yeah.
Once I got out of the midterm, I just wanted to like really blow off some steam, and Fortnite became my go-to drug.
I'm glad I got you.
So I've kind of talked about it before, but Fortnite is just such a different game from when I first tried it out, like early on in its like first year. That game is so different because like I don't jump in to be the guy who survives the match, and I don't jump in to like take out a lot of other people. I jump in to go do fun quests, and I go in to see if I can do unique challenges and if I can get away with it, and to explore parts of the map and to explore all the new Marvel things and to earn the new Marvel things, and having that wealth of material and content there to enjoy super duper works for it. And the quality of the game, because it's such a massive game, is so good that it feels very, very rewarding to play. Galactus is coming. That is part of the event. Galactus was a dot in the sky weeks ago. He is now a clearly formed shape on the horizon, getting closer and closer, just with his hand like this coming at you, and you're like, oh. So you're standing on the helicarrier before you load into the map, and you look back, and there he is, and you're like, oh, he coming, Lord, he coming.
As and Wolverine are doing the Doja dance.
Yes, and I'm super excited about it because like I've seen videos of when they do like concerts that they did earlier this year during the COVID time, and like you will have a character that is like 100 times bigger than everybody else, central to everything, and they're not fighting around him, they're just watching him because he's the concert figure. But I can see how they can do that with Galactus. Galactus is going to feel to scale, and you're going to fight him with all the other Fortnite players, and I think that's dope.
It is.
I'm excited to do that. Yeah, so I reached the point where I unlocked all the characters that you can unlock right now. They just added Ghost Rider.
Oh, he's already out?
Ghost Rider was added yesterday. I picked him up too. Ghost Rider's great.
Is there like a bike thing?
Your glider is the bike, and you stand on top of it, and you rev down.
Okay, all right.
That's really good.
That's pretty cool.
And also because of that, like you automatically get the reskin for any vehicle. So any vehicle you get into will turn into fire, and
well, now I have a reason to be in a car.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yo, that sounds rad.
Yes,
Ben, we're
Fortnite's
trying to get you
in. Fortnite's a lot of fun, guys. Since I'm talking about video games, I did another video game thing. I played the Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory demo, and I do want to talk about that. The first tutorial level, I was like, maybe this isn't going to be good.
Oh.
And frankly, what it was is I'm like, yeah, I could listen to Kingdom Hearts music, but that first level that they make you play, I didn't feel like what I was doing was connecting to the music. It just felt like it was like happenstance. But it didn't feel like when I hit the button, it's matching something in the music. I didn't get that feeling. The next song I played, which was for Traverse Town, I felt it. And there are mechanics once you get past that where you can add in more or take away controls so that you can have more things to do to feel like you're more in the rhythm of it. Or if it's too overwhelming, you can pull back and work your way up to it and all that kind of stuff. And you can, and that's not difficulty. That's just choosing controls. Then there is a difficulty scale to make things harder or whatever. So both of those mechanics exist to really shift it up to make it so that you can customize what you feel like a good rhythm game feels like. And having played around with that on some of the levels, it does feel really good. It does feel a lot of fun to play. I do feel like I am hitting into the rhythm of things most of the time on the songs I played. And I feel like it's a good time. It takes a little bit to get the controls down. But if you like Kingdom Hearts, if you like the Kingdom Hearts music, I think it's going to be a fun game to play. I don't think it's worth the open buying price of $60 when it comes out. I do not support that idea. Unless you're like a Kingdom Hearts absolute diehard, but wait on this one, pick it up. It's Ben, I think you should try the demo. It's going to be fun when all is done.
Funny enough, I keep forgetting that Melody of Memories is coming out.
Yeah.
I'll be on. I'll just be like looking through my Instagram or my Facebook, and then it's like, oh, here's an ad for Melody of Memories. I'm like, oh yeah, that's coming out. Oh yeah, that's coming around my birthday.
Because it's the least important Kingdom Hearts game to get because it's extremely unplot based, except for like loose things to do with Kairi.
Like I feel that Melody of Memories could give Recoded a run for its money in terms of like plot.
So I will say that, yeah, you're probably right. It probably is a little better than Recoded. I wasn't thinking about Recoded, but it's certainly more worth it than Recoded in gameplay because Recoded is Kingdom Hearts gameplay done again. But this is unique. It does feel good once you customize it to what you want.
I mean, I probably will get Melody of Memories. I'm not opposed to Melody of Memories at all. I mean, I'd rather not spend $60 on it.
Right. Sale.
There's another list of games that I want to play.
Absolutely.
I'd rather spend $60 or $40 on that, and then I'll wait to spend $40 on Melody of Memories later.
And because Melody of Memory is only on the PS4, on these current systems, it's not directly made for the PS5 and everything. Like you give it a year, it's going to be on a big sale.
Yeah.
And I recommend it because there's really no rush to pick it up, but I do think it's going to be worth it for you to play. I recommend trying the demo. It is fun. Okay. So I do recommend it. Definitely do not be turned off by the tutorial because I promise you that tutorial doesn't feel good. Like it just you got to get past that and kind of work around and figure out what you can do. They also don't give you things that I feel like really mesh with it the way they do in the real levels.
What's the song for the tutorial? Do you know?
It's
It's not
It's when you're in the black space with the stained glass.
Oh,
For that. That's the music for it because it's tutorial and it's welcoming. So they did that song, and I'm like, I get it, but that is like the least rhythmic song ever.
Yeah. That makes sense, but that's not like a good song for music for rhythm.
You would think the first song that they would have you do the tutorial would be "Dearly Beloved."
So it's fun. I agree with you. Also, there's a great the menu mix of Dearly Beloved is probably my favorite mix of Dearly Beloved I've heard. I'll say that. It's jazzy. It's good. Anyway, it works when they're telling you how to do the controls and you're just learning them, but then they're like, okay, free play the rest of this. And that's the part where it's like,
what?
Okay. So definitely give it a try, kind of find your own way through it. I did watch the most recent episode of The Simpsons, The Treehouse of Horror for this year, because I love the Treehouse of Horror episodes more than anything else about The Simpsons. And so I wanted to see this year's. This year, you guys might have heard of it, but the opening was a digitally animated short parroting Toy Story, kind of poking fun at them being owned by Disney, that kind of thing, focusing on Bart. The animation on that is really cool. They had a really good time making it, obviously. And I do think that more often than previous Simpsons things, I've seen the jokes land for the 3 stories that they do. There's some election stuff. There's good humor around. There's a really excellent joke on the kind of Groundhog Day, Happy Death Day stories, the time loop repeat stories that they do with Lisa. That's all about her about to turn 9. And before she can turn 9, she keeps getting killed. Oh, no. And she just can't progress out of that age. So she's going through that constant time loop. And her and Nelson end up trapped in it together, and they have to find a way out. And that was a pretty good parody of those kind of things. So I enjoyed that. I watched the movie Easy A for the first time because it came to Netflix, and I'd never seen it. Wow. I had never seen it, and so Megan was like, I kind of want to watch this. And I'm like, I've never seen it. I wanted to. So pretty good film overall. Pretty good film. I think that there's only a couple of things that are like a little bizarre about it. Specifically, her abandoning her friendship over the argument that they have feels a little silly. It's not entirely clear to me in the beginning why she wants to commit so hard to keeping up the reputation that she has. It does become clear when like the queer kid gets involved, Brandon. That's his name. It does become clear when that happens, but prior to that, I feel like the motivation's not 100% executed because I don't feel like I knew enough about who she was before the situation occurred. And I kind of wish that there was a better button on her relationship with Thomas Hayden Church's teacher character. But because of the format of how they did the film, they kind of don't allow for that. So I kind of get it. But overall, solid film.
Stanley Tucci Dad?
Stanley Tucci Dad is one of my favorite things. The parents, her interactions with her parents are fantastic. Almost worth the movie alone.
Yeah, that's what I remember loving.
If I remember correctly, because it's been years since I've seen Easy A. Yeah, it's her little brother who's African American. He goes, "Yeah, I'm adopted." And Stan teacher goes, "Damn it! Who told you?" He's like,
"Yeah, it's not damn it, but it is what? Who told you?" And I thought that was gold.
He's like, "Are you kidding me?"
There's a lot of gold in the interactions between her and her parents.
Solid.
Digging for copper, but I found gold.
Yeah, and lastly, just this weekend, Hulu dropped Killing Eve season 3 because that aired on BBC America. Now the whole season has dropped on Hulu.
Got it.
And so Megan and I started that with the first episode. Still enjoying that show. Interested to see where it goes. First episode definitely leaves you on a big note. So yeah. Anyway,
who killed you again?
That's my week.
The weeks are done. 4 weeks in a month, baby.
All right. We have a small news. We're going to do the bread and butter segment. It was a small news week because of the election. Took a lot of the news cycle, so a lot of the entertainment stuff stayed out of the way. But there were some things. Like I said up top, we do have something sad to get through before Jeopardy host Alex Trebek died just this morning.
Yeah,
he died of he did lose his battle with cancer. Obviously, last year he announced that he was diagnosed with cancer. He lost that battle this morning. He was 80 years old. I didn't know this, but he has the world record for the most game show episodes hosted.
I believe that.
I believe it.
And he did Jeopardy. He started Jeopardy in 1984, and he's been doing it since.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
By all intents and purposes, a really nice guy.
Yes.
He was a powerhouse in the entertainment industry.
Alex Trebek has done a lot to be like a politically progressive person behind the scenes. He's made, I think, more than one appearance for Last Week Tonight things. And he's very public about the like very much teaching. He's in a weird way spiritually the later generation's Mr. Rogers. Just kind of like wholesome encouragement of how we can better educate each other and be friendly to each other. So it is sad to see him pass. I think everyone kind of was in a bracing fact that we knew our years with him left were numbered after a certain point. But you know, so we, I think on a social level, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talking about, you know, I was prepared for it, but it's still sad. And I agree. You know, but his legacy is well cemented, and he lived a life to be proud of, for sure.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, my man.
I liked Jeopardy. There are times where I even catch myself watching it, and it's Jeopardy. It's a fun game show, but literally seeing Alex Trebek host that show for my entire life, and then now that he's gone, and they're gonna probably find a new host for the show eventually, it's just weird. Like I knew he was up there in age, but I didn't know he was 80.
Right.
He was in his 60s.
For years, to this day, the pairing of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune is such a huge powerhouse in prime time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, sad.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a quick Ray Fisher update. There was a small little nugget that dropped this week.
We got a little nugget.
Little Ray Fisher nuggie. That doesn't sound right. I'm sorry about that.
No, I like it. What's the nug about?
Apparently, he said in an interview, the big thing I said in the interview was that every single scene that he is in the theatrical cut of Justice League was a reshoot scene, with the exception of the scene on the Gotham rooftop with Commissioner Gordon and Batman and Wonder Woman and Flash.
Those are all bad, right? Those are bad shots. He's not...
I mean, the whole movie's kind of
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that is. I don't know how to respond. I don't know. Like reshoots happen. Like reshoots happen with all the other actors too. I'm assuming, right?
Like, okay.
I guess the point of it is to kind of say, like, if you didn't like his appearance in the film, blame Whedon. I guess. Which I'm like, okay, if you say so. Which I did. I agree. You know. That's true. I don't think he was very good in the movie. I didn't think he had a strong character, and I don't think it was performed very well. And that could be, not that I'm blaming Ray Fisher entirely for that. It could be that he given what he's saying, he could have been like really unmotivated to bring his best to it anyway. Which I could understand.
Or badly directed, but I don't know.
Or badly directed. It could be all of these things, right? Certainly, I know I just, regardless, don't like the look of Cyborg because I don't like how they went all CGI. So there's always that. But
it's true.
Okay,
that's the nug.
There you go. That's the nug. So we got a couple of industry shifts that happened this week. For example, Disney has pushed. By the way, I cannot believe I'm about to say that Death of the Nile is a Disney movie. Free Guys and Death of the Nile have been pushed from their December release dates. Free Guy was initially going to come out December 11th. This year, and Death on the Nile was originally supposed to come out on December 18th of this year. They have been pushed to an undisclosed date, so they are not back on the release calendar for next year at this moment. They're just not on a release schedule right now.
Because I don't remember. I know Dune got pushed. Did Wonder Woman get pushed yet?
Not yet.
Because that's December 2, right?
They're holding still at this moment. I mean, it's an inevitable push, but they're holding.
Yeah.
No.
I think every studio is just kind of like how soon, because they don't want to sit on all these movies forever. Like I'm sure they're just kind of like, how soon can we push this? And it came to the point where December 11th and 18th were like, nah, that's not happening.
It just feels like every studio is like reactionary to another studio. Like no one has a plan. It's like, oh, they pushed their movie, so I think I feel safe pushing my movie then. And then they do that, and then they do that.
Do you know why no one has a plan?
Because no one has
a plan.
Yeah, don't release movies, guys. We can wait.
Yeah,
I know stock market guys are like money, but like just hold on, you'll get your money.
I wonder if Death on the Nile would do this, but I have a feeling that Free Guy might just be put on Disney Plus.
That seems like an expensive movie, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
They put Mulan, which is one of the more expensive live action films to date, on Disney Plus.
That was a test and it failed.
Sure.
I still stand by, like, it bothers me that Soul is going on for free.
Yeah.
I don't think it should.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think it's a discredit to the hardworking artists on that film to charge nothing. And I would say, like, I could see Free Guy doing that too, but at a price. I couldn't see it doing it for free. No free guy. But it could happen. Death on the Nile, I could see them honestly holding for a year.
I think so.
Because I think they like it in the December time. I think they feel like it's a good holiday film. And I think they're kind of right. So I could see them holding it for a year because they don't really need to not. And they can just leave it out of the way of everything else that still wants to come out. Free Guy's a little bit of a wild card.
I feel... I agree I feel that Death on the Nile could be a good November-December release.
It's a good family film, honestly. Like Murder on the Orient Express, Knives Out. Like, those movies are good to go to the theater with your family.
And wow, because we had Murder, Knives Out. A lot of good murder mysteries coming out during the holidays.
Yeah,
murder and holiday go hand in hand.
I guess they do.
Long Halloween, baby.
Let's go watch Who Done It.
What do you say, Brandon?
Black Christmas.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this one last. Castle Rock was canceled at Hulu this week. Ben's favorite show. Stephen King's Castle Rock.
Rip.
So sorry for your loss, Ben.
Yeah, feel for you.
Happens to all of us, man. We've all got shows canceled.
It's true.
Think I'm good.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to let your feelings out, man.
Ben, you don't have to hide behind sports masculinity to disguise your feelings, man. It's all right to feel.
This is a safe space. Safe space. Anyway.
I watched 3 episodes of Castle Rock, and it was pretty good, and I just stopped watching it just for various reasons. That is a show that combines all of Stephen King's things in, like, one universe. That's a really cool thing, and it was really good. It's a shame it didn't last longer.
Yeah. I feel partially to blame because much like you I just didn't really pick it up.
Yeah.
And there's just other things I was watching and I want to still, but it's a bummer. I'm like, I'm sure everything I've heard makes it sound like something right up my alley. I just didn't take the time, and it's a bummer that Hulu has now pulled the axe on it.
Word.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So probably the biggest news that came out this week was that on Thursday, Johnny Depp released a statement. Saying that Warner Brothers had asked him to retire the role of Grindelwald. So paired with that,
that's really interesting. That
paired with that, it has been delayed to November of 2022. It's no longer coming out next year.
I mean, it's not like I'm looking forward to it or anything.
Well, now they have cast a pivotal character.
No, I mean, maybe now I'll like it. Maybe.
Regardless of the situation.
No, I know.
Regardless of the situation, I never liked him in the role. I always felt he was the wrong choice for that role. So regardless of the situation,
I thought Colin Farrell was better.
Just bring him back. Make up a stupid magic excuse. Like, I reverted back to that form for stupid reasons. Who cares? I'm Colin Farrell.
That's actually a good idea. Like, if you are going to recast him, just turn him back into Colin Farrell.
Because, like, he's so good.
Yeah. So regardless of the situation of what's happening with his career and Amber Heard, I am happy for this because I don't like that. I don't like him in that role.
Yeah.
You know who else would be great in that role? Ralph Fiennes, I think, could be a great. Is that too on the nose?
I think it's
he's too old.
Yeah. So they cover him in so much makeup it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so I agree with Brandon that, like, I was never a big fan of Johnny Depp in the role to begin with. However, I really disagree with this move overall, only because of all the statements that J.K. Rowling and Warner Brothers made to defend him when people asked for them to recast him going into The Crimes of Grindelwald. And they said over and over, we stand by Johnny Depp, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, if you made that bed, you lie in it.
Yeah.
You lie in it and you stay in it.
You get it. But
that's my thing. I'm like, this this feels, and frankly, not that I think that the court was wrong to do it, but like the way that this has spilled out still doesn't feel like it was damning enough necessarily to warrant Warner Brothers now reversing the statements they made defending him before. While he has been found like, oh no, we're not agreeing with your libel suit and all that, and we do think you were responsible in all of these incidents, it doesn't feel like it's enough condemnation of his character necessarily to have warranted what Warner Brothers decided to do. I'm like, you knew this was gross and messy when everybody told you. And you said, we've weighed the options, we've thought about it, and we believe Johnny Depp, and we stand behind Johnny Depp, which again is also really gross for Warner Brothers to do, considering they employ both of them in franchises.
I was gonna say, like, Amber Heard, is she still going to be in the DC movies? Like,
so the gross thing that has happened is that because of this, the internet is calling for Amber Heard's head too. They want her kicked out of the DC films because of this, because they staunchly are against her. And look, there's a lot of public information about this stuff, and then stuff we don't know that you can sift through, and it is a ton. And the bottom line of it, in my opinion, has become they're both bad. They're both toxic. They're both toxic, messy people, and they both did terrible, terrible shit to each other, and they were both abusive. I am not privy to which one I would say is worse than the other necessarily, but
guys, just move forward.
But it's Emma. She tilted the table. But in neither case is one blameless party, right? But I do think it's wrong that the internet has gone after Amber Heard so hard over Warner Brothers' decision. I don't think that's right. That's coming from a place of we've got to defend our favorite actor, Johnny Depp, kind of thing. But really going back to the main point of it, just Warner Brothers was so committed to defending him against so many people, very publicly asking, please recast him because of these things, at least until it's settled. Like, we don't want him in these movies. We care about these movies. We are Harry Potter fans and all that. And Rowling and Warner Brothers made statements where they're like, no, 100%, he's a great guy. We're going to da-da-da-da-da. And now they ask him to leave. Please, stick to your guns. Bury your franchise in this.
So real quickly, Mag says Wizard's age don't matter. That is true. However, this man is supposed to be in a relationship with Jude Law, so it kind of does.
And so that's kind of my feeling on it. I'm like, ultimately, like, I agree conscientiously it's a better choice, but I'm kind of like, I feel like Warner Brothers should have to eat the thing they made.
Yeah.
But also look at J.K. Rowling. No, all they really need to do to keep making these Fantastic Beasts movies without J.K. Rowling is be like, okay, J.K., you don't write the script anymore.
And to be honest, it's not like they need her. Hollywood is they can get anyone from Hollywood to write a Harry Potter script, and they would love to do it.
It's just that she's still in most control.
That's the problem. She's the money house. She's the lady.
But she said so much problematic shit. Why would they be like, here, one problematic dude, J.K. Rowling was also one of the people to ask him to leave.
So that has come back around in a really gross way too, because it's J.K. Rowling wanting to like really stand up for women, as she's saying, which is one of the reasons why she speaks against the transgender situations as she does, is because of the threat of violence on women. And I'm like, you literally defended Johnny Depp, who we at least know did commit violent acts against Amber Heard. Like, bare minimum, we know that's true. And you were just like, no, this is fine though. It's acceptable in this one case. And now you're reverting that, but staying silent about it. Bullshit.
It's just all messy and gross. This Hollywood's full of gross people.
Yeah.
Which historian has a comment? It would probably be better if they didn't have her write the movies. Yeah, she's got a co-writer in this one. Just make him the.
I guess I ultimately don't care because I'm still probably not going to see the next one.
No,
if Colin Farrell's in it,
if Colin Farrell's in it, I'll think about it. But I'd have to hear some good shit because that last movie was so bad.
It was bad.
As I constantly say, there are a few films that make me fundamentally give up on a franchise. Because of how bad they are, and unfortunately, Crimes of Grindelwald is that film for Harry Potter.
I still always refer to that movie as the movie when Grindelwald summoned 3 blue-eyes white dragons in attack mode.
He did.
Because the thing is, like, is Colin Farrell worth me still supporting J.K. Rowling?
No.
Is it? I don't know.
No, because he's now in Batman, and I could support that 1,000,000 times.
Right? Yeah.
You know what kind of. So I was packing away some books, and I packed away my Harry Potter books. And the 6th book I have, Half-Blood Prince, is the English published one.
Oh.
I mean, it's English, but it's UK English. It's the UK version. So her portrait on the back, I flipped her off when I put the book in the box.
She felt that one.
Which
Sharpie your mustache.
I'm not going to Sharpie the book. But because I was looking at it, I was like, man, F you. You're saying so much horrible shit.
When all the things that came out with J.K. Rowling, as I've said, Crimes of Grindelwald, if you go back to the review that we did, Crimes of Grindelwald made me so angry that I as I just said, I fundamentally gave up on the Harry Potter franchise. And so when all the stuff started coming out with J.K. Rowling with the transgender people, J.K. Rowling v. transgendered, apparently, when that happened, I was like, well, honestly, this isn't even hard.
Yeah.
I'm already out. You just made it easier.
It also, I mean, for years, I mean, because we used to go, it was a tradition for Brandon and I, our birthday, to go to Universal for our birthdays.
It's still a fun ride. I'm still going.
No, it's still a fun ride. But at the same time, when I'm there and I see books 1 and 6, because they still sell the hardcovers at the stores, and I can have a uniform set of all 7 Harry Potter books in hardcover, and it will look glorious. I just don't want to give her my money.
Ben,
bookstores.
Do you want a uniform setter, and do you want to give her some more money? That's on your soul, baby. It's on your soul. That's all.
Or I could just go find them at secondhand bookstores.
Okay.
I just thought of that right now. I was like, wait, duh, I could do that.
So
probably have price too.
Moving on, Ben.
Moving on.
Okay, so this happened last week, and I totally blanked and forgot to put this on the news. But Tom Holland, director Tom Holland, not young actor Tom Holland.
Nathan Drake.
Not Nathan Drake, Spider-Man. But Tom Holland, the director of Fright Night, said that he is working on a new sequel to Fright Night that ignores Fright Night Part 2.
Oh, why?
He did not have any involvement in that film, apparently, which I just read. He was not involved in the making of that movie. He chose to step away. And now that the rights have reverted back to him, they did last year. So now he has the rights to the franchise. He is writing a new script called Fright Night 2 Resurrection. And he wants to bring back all the original cast. And he alludes to the fact that even the characters who have passed would return in some way. So he's very much looking at like Halloween and being like, I can do that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so real quickly.
Go ahead.
Sorry, real quickly, which historian says, well, and Crimes of Grindelwald also decided to kill off one of their people of color who was... They did kill the Lestrange girl. Forgot about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with Grindelwald. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did a whole podcast.
Which historian, if you want to see us shit all over that movie, we got a review for you. Let me tell you.
Okay. Sparks?
Yeah, I didn't know that this was happening until I saw that you put it in the news. I really like Fright Night Part 2, so I don't understand why you even need to erase it to do this.
Yeah.
I feel like you can do a revisitation with, it's not like those main characters die at the end of Part 2. They don't. So I don't know why you have to just ignore that film, unless you really just hated it.
Maybe he's just petty.
I guess. But I'm like, that movie was pretty good. Like, it's not as good as the first one, but it's pretty good. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I thought the idea worked overall. I love Fright Night. It would be cool to see again. I don't know how much that... You have a gift with Halloween in the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis turned out to be a fantastic actress throughout her career. I don't know how true that is of the main guy in Fright Night. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm all about getting the vampire back and the vampire killer too. If I haven't even looked if that actor's still around.
I don't think he is.
Yeah. So that it's a little bizarre. It's a little bit bizarre of an idea, especially because like I don't think Fright Night has the cult following enough to warrant this, but
he passed in 1990.
Yeah, he passed away. So the vampire killer is dead.
It'll be a son or something.
Right. And I'm like, I don't need it.
Bring in David Tennant and connect it to the remake.
How?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
mean, I agree. Like, yeah, 100%. I'd be into that, but like, I don't know how you do it.
That's like Evil Dead situation.
I have not seen the original Fright Nights. I've only seen the remake, unfortunately. That's completely a failing on my part.
Well worth your time, but it is hard for me to picture a revival of that working the way that, like, as you alluded, the kind of Halloween revival did.
Yes.
Not impossible, but I have a hard time seeing it.
Brian, your Christmas wish has finally come true.
Don't psych me out.
For those of you who don't know, every year our holiday specials, Ryan says, I'm still wishing for the remaster for Mass Effect. And this week, they said that the remaster for Mass Effect, an HD remaster, is coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC next year in spring.
And spring is very soon. That's like the next whatever the things are called, season or whatever. Guys, I'm so happy because Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game of all time. But the Mass Effect trilogy, also Dragon Age, which came out around the same time, that is peak BioWare. That is BioWare developing the best games that they could possibly make. Like that's like the crescendo, baby. That's like Empire Strikes Back. They've never made anything better than Mass Effect 2, I don't think. And I was kind of hoping for like a whole like remake thing, but then at the end of the day, like that would take way too much time. So just give it a nice fresh coat of paint. It comes with all of the DLC, and Mass Effect has some of the best DLC ever in games, like truly awesome story stuff that really adds to the game. So playing 1, 2, and 3, the Mass Effect franchise is one of the only franchises where your save data from 1 goes to 2 and goes to 3. So the story stuff that happens in 1, it actually really does matter in 3. And there are very few games that really pull that off. Mass Effect is... You can play that game a dozen times and have a bunch of different character endings and shit. I'm just like, yes! Oh,
Which historian says, I'm replaying Mass Effect 2 today, and Dragon Age is my fave game series. It also says, yes, N7 Day 2020 was the best.
Yes.
Shadow Broker is one of the best.
That's the Shadow Broker is one of the best DLC expansions of all time. Truly beautiful stuff. I'm just and it's not happening in like 2 years. It's happening in like less than 6 months. So I'm just.
Ryan had a really great Saturday morning.
Dude, for real. I got a new president. I got a Mass Effect.
He woke up to text from us saying Biden's the president and Mass Effect is getting a remastered trilogy. Yeah. And he's like, well, this is just a great day.
Yeah.
I could have swore the scream of joy, the squeal of joy I heard wasn't. I thought it was like, oh, are people celebrating outside? Then I go outside, streets are empty. But then I'm like, oh wait, no. And then I check my phone. I was like, oh, Mass Effect.
Screaming into the void. Yeah.
They also said that BioWare is working on the next chapter of the Mass Effect universe. So that's
they made Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3, and then they made another Mass Effect game, and it's very bad. And we just don't talk about it, you guys. It's 1, 2, and 3.
Are we actually gonna get Mass Effect 4?
I don't know.
They said they're
that we're not talking about.
Ben. They said they're very early in the story.
Okay.
Too early. Yeah.
Hey, let them work. Let them do their work.
Mm-hmm. Now you got to find a new Christmas wish for this year.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I got the one I want for like my life.
That's true.
Like easy.
Every year.
Take my baby Mega Man one. Maybe it'll come true this time.
No. After 4 years. All right. Look,
yes.
I'm going to preface this. This is a rumor of a rumor. So I'm only putting it on here because everybody and their mother is talking about it. But apparently, normally I wouldn't do this, but apparently Deadline is saying that a Boba Fett miniseries is going to shoot before Mandalorian Season 3. I think they are confused because Mandalorian Season 3 is filming soon.
Yeah. It could be like a... I don't know. I don't believe... I don't know. There's so much Star Wars news. Andromeda was not a bad Mass Effect game. The problem was it wasn't good. Yeah. That's even worse. A game that's middling, I'd rather you just really suck or be really good. Middling is that's whatever. But I can't believe any Star Wars news these days, my man. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't believe any Disney rumor news out of Deadline. I can't buy anymore.
Yeah, whoever their source was is fired. That guy. Yeah.
One of the things Hollywood Reporter screwed this one up too because they said it's the James Mangold series, and James Mangold tweeted, "Was like, who said that? Because I'm not involved in this anymore."
That's not what I'm doing.
I don't believe that that's true. However, I will say the idea of a Boba Fett miniseries kind of intrigues me. A miniseries, meaning smaller than Mandalorian seasons, which are already 8 episodes. Mm-hmm. Does intrigue me because I don't necessarily want to explore everything that they'd want to explore about Boba Fett shoehorned into the Mandalorian story because I don't think those two things jive together 100%. I think there can be some crossover, but you want to know a little bit more about Boba Fett, it would probably have to be explored. Because in my mind, I was thinking the only way I can picture them doing it is a whole episode of The Mandalorian that's just following Boba Fett. And I'm like, but I don't know that I want The Mandalorian to do that because that feels against the idea of the show. So the miniseries sounds like a good idea, but I don't believe it's true at this moment.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they're just confused because Mandalorian season 3 is filming soon.
I would rather a Boba Fett miniseries than an entire series about him or a film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's enough on that. That we gave that just the right amount of air. Stargirl had some casting this week. Two of their new JSA members have been cast. Thunderbolt, who is Johnny Thunder's genie sidekick. He's the pink lightning bolt, for those of you who don't know. Also, Jakeem Thunder is the next generation who carries the Thunderbolt. We remember him in the show. He's the pink pen. Jim Gaffigan will be the voice of the character. The character will be completely CG. Makes sense.
Jim Gaffigan.
Jim
Wow.
Gaffigan, yeah.
What a choice.
He's the voice of Thunderbolt?
Well, now.
Wow.
Talk about Hot Pocket, Stargirl.
I think that Jakeem Thunder is not far behind.
Yeah.
Because what they're doing in the show in Stargirl is setting up a next generation JSA. And Thunderbolt is actually one of the few JSA members to have a legacy. That just like passed on the same exact power and not was just inspired by.
Right on.
So,
All right.
with Jakeem Thunder. Okay, and then Jade, who is Alan Scott's daughter. For those of you who don't know, Alan Scott has 2 kids, Obsidian, who is gay, and Jade, who is not. Jade has the exact same powers as her father, with the exception of she doesn't have a ring. So the Star Heart is just part of her, unlike it is with Alan Scott. Alan Scott married the original Rose and Thorn, which I didn't know. That was interesting to find out that her mother is the original Rose and Thorn. But we're hearing rumors that Issa Penarejo has been cast as Jade. She's a fairly unknown actor, done some Disney stuff. So this will kind of be her big break on the CW.
Cool. Right on. Good for her.
Yeah, so cool. I had all these facts written down about Alan Scott because I know way too much about Alan Scott. Anyway, probably the biggest DC news that came out this week was Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about this because this is incredible. Grant Morrison came out as non-binary this week.
Yes. If you look at his body of work, it seems like this is something. Funny enough, I think the person you don't like, Brandon, I think is like the biggest Grant Morrison fan on the planet. And he's written like a bunch of essays on him. He's like, as someone who's basically studied his entire body of work, this seems like a no-brainer. It seems like something he's been battling or dealing with his entire career in various comic ways. And it's really cool to have him finally do it. And like, man, that is so cool.
Yeah.
It's also, I don't think it's not like it matters, but it's not somebody you'd expect possibly. And it's just like, that's so cool that like, you just never really know a person. And that's so cool that that's how they want to be. And I love it.
Yeah. It's really cool because Grant Morrison shaped 20 years of comic books.
Yeah.
Like really, like he was one of the shapers of the DC Comics in the early 2000s. He's been writing comics since the 80s and 90s. Like he's such a prominent figure in comics, and to have such a prominent figure be be non-binary is such a win.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, did Morrison? Because I didn't look into it. Did Morrison announce new pronouns?
They them.
They them. Okay.
Yeah.
I just knew, we're all used to saying he.
Yes.
For him.
Yeah.
We were just doing it. I just want to know.
I was right.
They, them.
Yeah.
Because when I saw the announcement on Twitter that Grant Morrison came out as non-binary, at first I thought it was fake. I mean, because to me, it was like, it's something way out of left field. It's like, really? And then I dove a little bit deeper, and then people were like, yeah, Grant Morrison's now non-binary. I'm like,
but as what Ryan said, you never really know somebody.
True, you really don't.
So that's really cool.
Even with my limited amount of, in comparison to a lot of other people, like of reading Grant Morrison stuff, I can still see where like this very much tracks into a perception that they have had about the world.
Yeah. Now let's get that next Claws miniseries. Thanks, Boo. Anyway, all right. So now we're in trailers. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot that happened this week.
Wow, that's gonna be a short episode. Amazing.
Yeah, like I said, a lot.
We might finish before midnight for once.
No, don't be great.
The election happened, so a lot of people stayed out of the news cycle. So that's all we got. So we're in trailers. You want to put this one in here, Ryan? No Man's Sky Next Generation came out last week.
Because if you're fans of the podcast, you know that the game came out like 4 years ago, and it was a big hunk of piece of shit, and I was like really excited for it. Like truly like my most anticipated game of all time, because it's like free roaming a galaxy, literally billions of planets you can explore, all procedurally generated. They did not deliver whatsoever. Now that this trailer is out, I wanted to show you guys this trailer because this is what they promised 4 years ago. And tell me this does not look like the coolest shit you've ever seen.
That's really cool.
It looks like some of the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Like, dude, like they promised at launch 4-player multiplayer, and they didn't even have that. Now the fact that we can have 32-player multiplayer, traveling the infinite galaxy, base building these giant statues, these giant bases. It's just like it's the Minecraft space game I've really always wanted. And now, like, once I have a nice PC, but like playing it on my PC, it chunks because like it's intense. It's a really intensive game. But if I get a next gen console, it's gonna be like the game I've always wanted. And I'm just like, yeah, baby, this looks so cool.
Which historian says what should also be really celebrated, though, is that they felt comfortable coming out as regards to Grant Morrison. Yes. Totally.
Agreed. In regards to Morrison, I think that's awesome. Morrison's definitely a person in a comfortable enough position that, you know, it's you know, there's no harm to career in doing it, I would say overall, which is great. But what's great about it is that Morrison doing it is going to make it a lot easier for a lot of other people to be able to do it in the industry as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And about No Man's Sky, which historian says No Man's Sky was awful. I'm glad that they've done well enough to continue, but
no, yeah. Which historian, as someone who I'm telling you, that game is a different game now. It is. If you wanted to like that game, there's no reason not to like it. Like, it's awesome. It's so cool.
Yeah, I at this point, I'm willing to jump in and check it out at some time.
I am too.
I might do it once I get my PS5.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then the final trailer. The final trailer that came out was we knew this was coming, the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. So this is the Lego Star Wars. So they're kind of ripping off the original Holiday Special with everyone comes to celebrate Life Day, and a lot of the original actors come back. Billy D. Williams. There's also James Arnold Taylor as Obi-Wan, Tom Kane as Yoda, and Matt Lanter from Clone Wars as Anakin. I think it's James Earl Jones as Darth Vader, honestly, but I wasn't sure.
I'm sure he'd do it.
Yeah,
it's definitely Daisy Ridley and Oscar Isaac and John Boyega, 100%.
I think it's definitely Oscar Isaac, but that's it.
Yeah,
I wasn't convinced it was any of them.
Which historian says did we not learn a lesson with the original holidays? They did, which is why they're making this one.
I gotta say, I thought this was funnier than I expected it to be. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for it. Yeah.
No, I'm excited for it too. It's Lego. A lot of the Lego properties, as far as I know, and I have played, they're all about having fun.
Yeah, I was talking to Ryan a bit about this, that most of the Lego Star Wars animated video outputs were done by Cartoon Network, or with Cartoon Network before the Freemaker Adventures. Is it Freemaker or Freemason? It's Freemaker, right?
Freemaker, yeah.
Yeah, Freemaker Adventures, which I watched.
Freemasons.
Yeah, I know that kept like, but did they? And no, but the Freemaker Adventures, which I watched a little bit of, it just was bizarre because it felt like they were trying to make this family very relevant to that show was weird because it didn't feel like it was playing outside of Star Wars canon enough. It felt like it was trying to make this family fit in canon and be important, and I'm like, that doesn't work for me with a Lego show.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this looks much more like we're playing loosey-goosey with the rules. We're just having fun. We're just having a good time. Everybody loves it. Star Wars. We're going to riff on everything, and that appeals way more.
There is a Star Trek riff in this that they didn't mean to do. In Star Trek Season 2, they use time travel because there's such a thing as time crystals now in the Star Trek universe, which sucks. But Rey finds a time crystal that travels through time.
There you go.
Which I will say is a little bizarre because the means to time travel already exists in Star Wars, and that they're not going the same route of it is a little interesting, but whatever.
That's why.
The idea, for those of you who don't know, for those of you watching, is that Rey goes through time, going to different Star Wars moments, meeting Luke as a kid, going through a lot of the original series. It looks like fighting Darth Vader. Obi-Wan's there.
You see the Mandalorian,
Mandalorian, which is cute.
It kind of gives me like Robot Chicken vibes a little bit.
Yes, exactly.
Which I'm a big.
The
fan
Robot
of.
Chicken Star Wars specials are fantastic. So having a family friendly version of it is fine with me.
Yeah.
Fun antics, a silly way to bring elements of all three eras of Star Wars, plus, as Witch Historian pointed out, the television shows, because we see some Mandalorian and the Child in there,
That's cool.
all into one space and play around is fun, because you can't actually do that.
And the thing is, it's not canon, which means it's just to have fun.
It's fun. It's Lego.
Although, if it has a better ending than Rise of Skywalker, it is canon now to me.
What if they fix the ending or something?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, will they riff hard enough that they fix the ending of Rise of Skywalker? Because it's post Rise of Skywalker, because Rey's got her yellow blade. And I'm like, you know what? If it makes me feel better about that ending, that's canon now, baby.
I love the joke near the end of the trailer where it's like, my son, and then it's like, what? Like, these binary sons. My goodness.
Good cheeky humor. Yeah.
Okay.
Talkie, more fighty.
That's it. That's the news. So now we're going to move into our review. So
hold on. We have to skip we have to wait another hour. This is way too fast. I can't handle this.
It's like the old days.
It's like the old days.
1 hour later.
Right, so full spoilers for the new Netflix movie, Over the Moon, the new animated Netflix film. So I'm going to put this down on the ticker. You have no excuse. Full spoilers. That was
great. Go watch it. Go watch it.
Go watch Over the Moon. Yeah, we're going to talk about it in depth.
All right, so if you have not seen Over the Moon, please stop watching, stop listening. If you have not seen it, we won't care. Nobody watches this anyway, except for 2 or 3 people every week.
They're all important to me. Every one of you's a million people.
But if they go to watch Over the Moon instead of watching this, I don't blame them.
Here's what you do. Mute us. Also mute Over the Moon. Try to decipher what's going on between both.
No. Or you have us play audio while you're watching the movie, but you mute the TV. So you're listening to us talk about it.
No, it's not as confusing.
No? Okay.
All right. So, Over the Moon, let's get started. Ben, why don't you go first with your initial thoughts?
It was fine. I don't hate it.
Witch Historian says it was so good. Right off the bat, we've got a heated argument between Ben and Witch Historian.
I don't know if Witch Historian is
low.
I don't know what Historian was talking about the trailer, because before they said it was a really good trailer. So
no, they're talking about Over the Moon, Ben. It was so good.
Okay, Ben. Sparks?
Yeah, I thought I loved it.
Right?
I really did. I thought it was really good.
I'm over the moon for Over the Moon.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. I really loved it. I thought I had a really good time with it. The animation is gorgeous. I love the neon animation for the moon creatures. I love the music. Real quickly, Witch Historian says, I loved Over the Moon. It was such a beautiful telling of a traditional story that got gorgeous updates. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I agree about the animation. I love whenever they use the 2D animation that they use, both playing with the story of the legend and then playing with her creations and her drawings moving about. I thought that it was inventive with the way that they used it. I thought all the designs were so cool. It's colorful. It's very colorful.
It's so vibrant.
Yeah.
It almost hurts your eyes how beautifully colored it is. It's almost like a rave. And I loved it.
Yeah, I thought that Pearl Animation Studios did a great job with this.
One of my favorite song in this actually is the first song when we sing where we see the goddess, whose name I know, but I don't want to try.
Saturnine?
Yeah, Saturnine.
Chunga.
Yeah.
Chunga.
I know we got Fei is the main character, correct?
Yeah.
Fei.
Chen. Chen's the little brother?
Chin is the little brother, yes.
Chin. Got it.
Okay. And
no barriers.
And of course, Bungie.
Yeah.
Oh.
John Cho is the voice of the dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sandra Oh is the voice of the stepmom coming in.
Mm-hmm.
A
Hamilton alum.
Hold on. So a Broadway performer is Ruthie Ann Miles, and she's the mom who passes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got Ken Jeong as Gobi, Robert G. Chu as Chin, and Kathy Ang as Fei Fei, fairly new to the scene as voice actors, and then Philippa Sue, who, if you all watch Hamilton on Disney Plus, is Eliza Hamilton, in that production plays the goddess Chang'e.
All the singing in this was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like truly exceptional. Not like musicals don't have good music, but every performer like really brought it. Like especially like the kids. The kids were good.
We watched that
And
trailer.
John.
We watched that trailer and had no idea this was a musical, and I can't believe how little that trailer told us, and still sold me.
Yeah.
Because you don't see anything from the moon stuff except like a glimpse at the very end of that trailer.
So real quickly, I didn't tell you guys this before you wanted to watch the movie. I don't really know why, but there was a second trailer release that shows a lot more of the moon stuff, and I did accidentally see that trailer, and I deliberately kept it off our breakdown every week so you guys wouldn't see that.
Oh, that's stupid. They shouldn't have done that because that first trailer was enough.
Yeah, so like I didn't know the plot, but I knew that it was a musical going into this. The Flyaway song is so good. Brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah, they pulled it up on us at the beginning. Didn't appreciate that. It's like 10 minutes in. Why? Come on. What's going on here?
Witch's Story says there were so many people of color in this.
Yeah.
And that is so amazing. And Ryan is right. The singing is gorgeous. Yes.
Yes. All the voice actors are Chinese descendant, which is awesome.
Yep.
Ken Jeong can sing apparently.
Ken Jeong can sing apparently, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know where the movie was going to go necessarily. And that kept me on, like the moment that we get to Chang'e and the moon goddess, and she's just appears from the curtain and starts a J-pop concert, and I'm like,
God, I can't.
I don't know where this is going now.
Essentially, she's Moon Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
The characters are there's a lot of fun humor in this. For example, there's a moment where Fei falls on one of the moon creatures, shatters it into a million pieces, and those things all become little. And I was like, "Oh my god, she just murdered a dude."
Nah, they were totally cool about it.
Yeah. I thought the animation was done really well with faces specifically. I thought all the characters are extremely expressive, whether they are the animal characters or the people, and maintain a lot of emotional display. I thought they packed a lot of good stuff with the family environment in the first 20 minutes of the film. I thought it was very well used.
What was the bike sequence is really cool.
Yes, the bike sequence is...
Oh, the biker chicks.
The biker chicks,
The biker chicks.
really, really good. Witch Historian just made a comment that I think is pretty good. With Chang'e being updated as a kind of pop star was an amazing take on faith and belief that I think a lot of people fall into.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Yeah, it was just really... really gorgeous.
Like she does a sweet transformation into like a ping pong outfit that's sick as hell, and then there's a sick galactic ping pong battle with this little kid who's super
ping pong rapping battle back and forth.
It was just like this movie went places. I again, because first of all, the first trailer I already forgot what this movie is about because I see a trailer once and it's gone. So she turns into this ping pong champion and then starts doing a ping pong rap while having a galactic battle. I'm just like, this movie's sick, you guys. Come on. This is why I watch animated movies. Look at this. This is what's going on.
Bungie has a relationship with Jade the rabbit.
God.
And that was really cute. And Bungie gets like murder ears.
Like for ears, yeah. I was super worried because this isn't a DreamWorks movie, but or even a Pixar movie, but they have sidekicks that are super comic relief and almost annoying at points. So when we met the frog and the rabbit, I was immediately like, okay, they don't talk. They're very funny just by their expressions. Then we meet Gobi. And I was really, really worried that Ken Jeong was going to ruin this movie for me. And I'm happy to say that they rein him in, and he's actually really sweet. He has a really really impassioned speeches at times and really emotional. I'm like, they even made Ken Jeong likable. I love it. Good job.
So Gobi is one of the things that I'm not the biggest fan of in this movie.
I get it. Yeah.
At first I'm like, dude, shut up. Even Chin, when Chin shows up with his frog and he's doing all his shenanigans, I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna be the annoying younger brother. But as the movie went on, I grew to really like Chin, especially when he says, "I want to see my sister." He does his no barriers thing and he punches through the wall at the end of the movie. I love that. But with Gobi, up until he sings his song, I was like, as much as I love Ken Jeong and I know how crazy Ken Jeong can go, I was still like, this is a little annoying. Can we like speed this up?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Ben. Like once the song hit, I thought the song was really good, and then he seemed to kind of tone down a little bit.
Yeah,
it just his introduction was like, oh, I know I've seen this movie before. I hope it doesn't go in a bad way, and it did, thankfully.
Real quickly, making a note of which historians things they're going back to the family emotion. They're saying was so amazing, very natural. Worry about differences occurring within family units. 100% agree. Mentioning the laser ears, and that was amazing because they just did not hide their emotions, referring to the siblings, the step siblings as they will be. So true. I think that this is a movie that very much an anime film that wears its heart on its sleeves very, very blatantly, and I think very, very well.
Yeah, dealing with grief and loss and like how different people deal with that. Yeah,
I know from the get-go what the point and message of the film is going to be by the end of it, but I like the way that it unfolds and is executed so much. I didn't feel like it was typical.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Go ahead.
Now, one of the things that the highest remark I can give for this film is how it talks about essentially death, a very morbid subject, and the grieving process for losing a loved one. Because it's not just Fei Fei, it's also Cheng Yi, who lost her loved one. And she thinks she's on the very... Because I remember the first trailer where I think we get a glimpse of the moon goddess, and I thought, oh, that might be like the mom reincarnated or something. I don't know. But then when Cheng Yi was like, where's my gift? How come? Go find the gift. And they're like, oh, is she the villain? Is she the bad guy? No.
I will say there's a couple of times where I feel like the writing isn't as strong as it should be. Because for the most part, the film has very strong writing. But the stepmom's introduction feels very rushed because it's like she just met her as like the girlfriend of the dad, and then there's like, oh yeah, we're getting married. Like it goes from 0 to 50 so fast there that and real quickly, let's just say my other one is that Chunga's reaction to like give me the gift, I think is also really fast with a little explanation to the audience there.
So I do want to address the marriage thing because the parents never say they're getting married. It does appear as just the family's trying to bridge and him trying to introduce her to his daughter. It's the little boy who says they're getting married, which doesn't mean it's true. It means that in his mind, that's what's inevitably going to happen. That doesn't mean that is what, but it's the fear of that's on the table, and that's what matters to Fei Fei, is that the fear of that happening is what matters. But I don't believe that. I don't believe the dad is being so irresponsible as to say, yes, we are getting married right now, and here's your first time meeting her without me saying so. So I think that that read exists because neither of the parents say that marriage is on the table at that moment.
One thing that I feel like because I get that when a loved one dies and then one parent is raising their kid by their own, eventually they want to find love again, and they do, which is awesome, good for them. But one thing I really wish that there was a scene in the movie was Baba and Fei Fei having a heart-to-heart. Like saying, look, I get that you're not a big fan of this. I understand you miss your mom. I miss your mom so much. Like the only bit we get is when he says that Fei Fei laughs just like her mom. I would have loved like a more heart-to-heart moment of like maybe like right when they get back, or maybe sometime after she spills the food on the table. I wish that could have happened, and that maybe could have driven Fei, because I like Fei Fei's motivation, but maybe that could have driven her more as like, hey, if my dad had my mom back or something, or he remembers loving my mom, maybe he won't get married, maybe he won't stop seeing her. So I feel like if we had like a heart-to-heart with father and daughter, that would have made it a whole lot better.
Also, I just want to say that girl needs to be hired by NASA like right now. She built a maglev on her own and a rocket ship.
Damn.
So I do want to, which is throwing out a lot. So I do want to acknowledge, like, for Brandon's real quick, being right. About like, yes, I do think that the dad handles it poorly in just an introduction. I was merely pushing back on like the marriage concept. I don't think is actually real in what's happening in the moment. But I do think, yes, he handles the introduction poorly. I think a lot of parents can potentially do that in those kind of situations. I think that this allows for that fallibility where that comes in. It's also playing a lot into Fei-Fei's perception. Speaking now to Ben's point about what he was just saying with wanting that heart-to-heart moment, he attempts it earlier in the film, and she shuts him out when he's talking about loneliness. And she shuts that conversation down, making it clear she doesn't want to have him express that idea. So she's not being welcoming of his emotions, and he is uncomfortable with how to share and express that idea with his daughter, which I think is a fair representation. I know what you're talking about, Ben, but what I appreciate about the movie is that this felt more natural. This felt more true. You don't always get that kind of like, I'm going to be open 100% emotionally about where I'm at with my daughter, who I'm concerned about being, uncharacteristically uncomfortable with this relationship kind of thing.
As someone who's one of my parents has been married 5 times, guys, let me tell you don't always know when they're dating somebody new. Sometimes you just find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
So I know what you're talking about, but I think that this movie did more to its credit of not going the route of needing to have the father and daughter directly express those emotions, at least in the earlier part of the film.
That would have felt typical to me.
Because I think that would have felt like, directly telling us something, whereas like that's usually not how family relationships work. It's not how our dynamics as people usually work, dealing with those kind of emotions. And then what Witch Historian was bringing up with about her feeling like she was the villain, which Witch Historian is bringing up as a good point. Women who experience loss typically are shown as villains in films. I would argue that I never felt 100% like she went into the villain category. I felt like she became antagonist, and even then I didn't see her as bad guy yet.
Yeah, I don't think she was a bad guy.
But I get how it felt like that when it's initially starting. You kind of get that pit where you're like, no, she's going to be the bad person. And I was like, no, she's the distressed at the edge of her rope person.
Her and Fei-Fei are the same.
Right.
Like, and I think this on a different cosmic level, and like that's how she learns that like this goddess is like, oh, also it's very human.
Yeah, and I think they tie that up emotionally very well by the third act. Yeah.
In the room of what was it called? The room of perpetual sadness.
Oh my god, yeah, it's my bedroom.
Like, that's actually one of my favorite scenes, is because she is Zhang-Yi or Chang'e.
They say it like 50 times in the movie.
I know they say it 50 times in the movie, but it's still hard for me to pronounce. Okay, give me a break. God.
In Ben's defense, I said it wrong earlier, so he's going off my pronunciation.
I'm just going to move from now on. F it.
If I'm
So the
Which Historian says, I concur, Sparks, even being honest or trying to be can be hard with younger individuals because it's hard to be vulnerable in that regard, indeed. And yes, for those of you watching the stream, the chat is a couple seconds behind us.
So,
patience. We'll get to you.
Where was I going with the pit?
You were talking about the moon god.
Yeah. How
the room.
The room of perpetual sadness, where Fei-Fei is able to get in because she has experience and still is holding on to that sadness. And I love how the moon goddess sees that, oh, you lost your mom too. You lost someone you loved. And essentially both of them come together and essentially beat the darkness. What I actually really like is, like, it's going back to my point of how I give this movie high remarks, is how this film deals with losing a parent or a loved one in a much more, I want to say realistic, but it's not realistic, but in a better way than other films where a parent is lost in the first act. Cough, Disney, cough. Yeah. And they're their driving force, but it doesn't really do much about it. It's like, oh, they're gone. I've gone over my sadness, and now I'm gonna do other stuff now.
Disney tends to start their movie after the parent has passed rather than when the parent passes. So I think it's a little unfair to throw them under the bus in that regard, but I do agree with you that it is far more realistically handled. Rather than realism being in the movie, it is realistically handled in this film than like any other animated film that would do the same thing.
And then there's is it a stork at the end? I don't know animals. The animal that's
crane.
That's crane.
It's like that might. It's like it might be. It's like the mom's like might be the mom. Might be like connection to the mom. Like, oh, what's up? She flies away, touches her hair. Like, ooh. Like that was cute.
The smile at the end with the eye. I interpreted it as that was the mom.
I thought it was the moon goddess, but it could be the mom.
It's not explicitly stated, so it could be really
Oh,
either
So,
way.
like that's the place where like they would all kneel like when the mom was sick on the blanket and stuff. So I thought it made sense.
Mhm.
And the crane was also there earlier in the film when Bungie led her out.
Yeah.
Bungie, MVP. Bungie's so
MVP.
cute. Like
Bungie,
again, like didn't say a single word, just emoted perfectly. So cute.
Bungie,
Good job, you and Jade Rabbit.
Bungie is the MVP, and the frog can just chill.
That frog could have been funnier. I'm just saying.
That
Yeah.
frog also didn't have to be in the movie.
It didn't. It wasn't. Yeah, like we had Bungie. Sorry, frog.
And like the frog shows up in the beginning and then does disappear towards the after the ping pong tournament. It's just kind of is just sitting there.
Just
And then
kind of pocket
See it in the back pocket.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like maybe you didn't need the frog. You don't need both to have cute animal sidekicks, but it's fine.
The only time the frog was really front and center was the time it was introduced, and at the end of the movie, when after the parents get married, and she's like, "Hey, you better get that frog off the chair, or else he's going to become Fei-Fei's next science experiment."
So while the frog didn't need to be there, I also don't think the frog ever hurt the film by being present either,
No.
which is in itself a feat that they didn't feel like they had to overplay the frog to compete with Bungie.
True.
Bungie staying on the moon is kind of sad.
But he got a family now. All family.
My only like real gripes with it are that I don't feel like the arc of Gobi is done well enough.
Yeah.
In relation to his exile.
He's the big mom.
I don't think it's expressed enough directly with why that happened and kind of comes around to a better end for it. Nor do I think that Chang'e, her arc, is 100% like brought to its point of the part where Gobi refers to she did used to be kind, she did used to be all these things. I'm like, I feel like we could have talked more about or not necessarily talk more about, but like express more of the turn in Chang'e's character, because while she again, like she doesn't feel like she's necessarily a cruel being to me when we encounter her. She feels like she's driven by what she wants at that moment, but she's not cruel.
Yeah.
So there's something in there with Gobi's exile that I don't feel like entirely connects to Chang'e as she's portrayed throughout the film.
So I'm glad that the moon goddess wasn't the villain and she forms this relationship with Fei-Fei. And I do really, Ryan, I do love the ping pong rap battle. I thought that was fun.
It was almost like a Sailor Moon transformation. I'm just like,
It was.
sweet. I'm like, whoa, this is great.
I'm a sucker for Sailor Moon transformations. That's not. I do not hide that fact. But oh god, I had a point. Damn it, I lost it.
Oh no, ping pong, you love it.
No, it was ping pong, but it was about the moon goddess and when she was. One of the things that bothered me was the vagueness of get the gift. It's like, what gift? What are you talking about? And
It's like part of her necklace, right?
I
I
know it's part that I should have saw that. I should have saw that because there are other parts of the movie where I kind of did see coming from a mile away. Like when she tells all the Lunarians, she's like, "Hey, go find my gift," and everyone's rushing, and she finds the biker chicks, and I'm like, "Oh, they're gonna betray her."
Yeah.
Like, hey, she finds the doll. That's not the gift, but it's gonna lead her to the gift, and then it's like, "Oh, look, they betrayed her." And then
Here's a good question actually that you bring up. She finds the gift in a moon pie given to her by her stepmom, by her future stepmom.
yeah, that she didn't want to eat.
There is a little hint in the beginning where she says that I was a
descendant.
They say I'm a descendant of Hoi. Thank you. And I would have liked to have seen that a little bit more clearly established towards the end of the film because, like, did the stepmom know that she was going to go to the moon? So she specifically like, baked a moon pie that could kill someone.
And if she didn't, then she's an incredibly irresponsible cook.
Right, exactly.
Well, they say that Shin probably put it in there as a joke.
Oh, yeah.
But not only that.
Did they say that? Because I don't remember that.
That Fei-Fei says it because she bites into the moon cake and she's like, "What the heck is this?" And also one thing that I was like, she put it in the drawer and she never picked it out.
That thing's old.
Yeah, and it took her months and months to, okay, maybe not months, but it took a substantial amount of time for her to build the ship and her testing it. Which
she made a maglev track.
I love the montage with her
too.
rocket ship and her and her like figuring it out and everything.
What did I say exactly, Brandon? But it's such a small throw at that point.
About what we're talking about right now.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but you never see her pack the tin, because when she puts it in that drawer, I thought, oh, she's never gonna want it. Maybe her stepbrother, maybe Chin,
which is always says her stepbrother brought it. I think I think the fact that we don't have like concrete answers does just go to that point of like it's not entirely clear how or why that thing ended up in the moon pie. It doesn't, like the frog, like Spark said about the frog, it doesn't hurt the movie. It is just like, if I were to come up with a gripe, that is one thing that I kind of questioned coming out of the movie.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah.
I don't have anything more, honestly.
I think I liked it a lot. I thought it was gorgeous. Yeah. Definitely one of the most visually impressive movies I saw this year. Very, very pretty to look at.
Do you want to rate it?
No.
Okay.
I'll give it an 8.5. I liked it a lot.
Sparks?
Yeah, I think that the animation alone makes this film incredible. I think the other thing I would say about the music is that there are a couple of songs where I feel like they're sung well, but their melodies are like, they're not breaking the mold or anything. They're just like, yeah, it's a song. But in the context of watching the film, they're not like something I'd listen to on its own.
Yeah.
But then there are others in this where I would. So overall, I think the music works pretty well for the movie. The animation's beautiful. I think that emotionally the film hits all the right notes. I think they do a really good job of maintaining an idea of realism in the sense of how people encounter grief, how they deal emotionally with loss, and what the point of the movie is going to be about. So the emotions of that all land when they come to their fruition, and that really worked for me. I give it a 9.
I do like this movie. It's just that it didn't really resonate a whole lot with me. I mean, I will agree with Sparks and Ryan, and of course Brandon. The animation is gorgeous. This film is beautiful. The colors, that's just so vibrant. Yeah, it does look like a rave, and I dig it. And I will listen to the Moon Goddess intro song. I really dug that song. I liked it a lot. I'll probably listen to it again in the near future.
I'll watch that J-pop, K-pop scene again on YouTube every once in a while. It's a fun scene.
I have no shame. I'll rewatch it. That's a damn good scene. But the other songs, they didn't really resonate. They weren't like heart bangers. I'm like, oh hell yeah. They were good, but they just weren't like, they just didn't like hit that note for me. It's still a good movie. I still really, really enjoy it, and I give it a 7.5. It's still good. I still like it. It's just it's not up there for me.
I think before Brandon goes, I think something we can all agree is that just it's really unfortunate this film is not getting the attention I think it deserves, because it is another Netflix release and it's just being treated as another Netflix release. And I'm like, this movie deserves much more attention. This is a high quality animated film.
2 weeks in a row.
Also, one but huge ass plus for this, all Asian cast. Hell yeah.
This film is being treated as another Netflix film, and when in fact it is a cut above a lot of the Netflix original films. I probably give it an 8.5. I'll probably be between there.
So I looked it up, and the lady who wrote this wrote many other movies, but most importantly, she wrote 1997's Georgia the Jungle.
Woo woo!
Yeah.
One other thought that I did have that I wanted to bring up is my absolute favorite transition into a song in this movie is when she's in the classroom and the paper drifts down and then she just starts like walking and slowly starting to sing and all the students are like, hey, what's going on?
The teacher's at the board going, why are you singing in my class?
Yeah, and then she's just in her bedroom and I'm like, oh, I thought we were going to do a little more with like the kids all just being like, what's happening?
Why is she singing randomly?
All right, real quickly, which historian says, well, I also think that it shows that grief never really ends is a great thing to showcase. Yes. Okay, so
just kind of
now let's get into our book club. Sparks, go ahead.
Hey guys, I did Meteor Men. Meteor Men is put out by Oni Press. It's written by Jeff Parker and illustrated by Sandy Jarrell. And it's just a nice little bite-sized original piece of comic literature. What do you all think? This nice little thing.
This felt like a nice little like 21st century ET.
Yeah.
Like I liked it. I didn't love it, but I thought it was a really nice, enjoyable, quick read. Like this would be like a nice like low budget movie. I think I think the character work's pretty fun. I really like the design of the aliens and like just everything about the aliens. I was really intrigued with the whole way through. I think it's not like generic, just nothing ever really kind of like goes like the ooh, except for the ending. I think the ending is really bold.
Yes. Yeah. The ending is definitely a really. The ending is the standout for me because I enjoyed it. I actually really liked reading it. I was like engaged the whole time. I was like, I really want to know. I would get to the end of a part, or I guess a chapter in this case. I'd be like, I need to know what happens next. What's going on with Alden? What's going on with everyone else? And it kept me engaged. And I enjoyed it. But damn, I was not expecting that ending, and I loved it.
Yeah, I also enjoyed it. I don't love it. I liked it. But one of the things that I actually disagree with Ben right off the bat is that I didn't actually find it that engaging. I didn't end a chapter and say, oh, I got to know what happens next.
Okay.
The final chapter is probably the strongest only because of how bold it gets. But it is a 5-chapter thing. So I still have to say, like, I liked it. I just kind of wish it was bolder throughout. Something that did keep me engaged throughout.
Yeah, I can respect that. I think over like this is nothing super impressive by any means. It's just it's not bad. It's good though. It's a nice little fun piece. It doesn't break a lot of molds in any way. But I do echo what Ryan was saying. I think the alien design, the idea of them is really strong. I do agree. I felt like very strong, like, oh, this is an independent alien film. Hard.
The stuff with Winston, when you realize... is it what?
Wilton.
Wilton. When you find out that Wilton is like the alien, that's where I was like, holy shit.
One of my favorite panel pieces is the part where Alden is dreaming and he sees the trees above him with the stars, and then there's a big hand, and then there's a big Wilton's face up above the trees, and I'm like, yo, what?
And that doesn't make sense until much later,
right? And so the whole time I'm kind of what did keep me personally engaged is the whole time I'm going, okay, so where's Wilton? Because Wilton's disappearance obviously is a major part. And it didn't take me long to kind of go, he's connected to the alien somehow if he's not the alien himself.
Yeah. I just assumed they all got abducted. And then the head thing happened, and I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what it was going to be. I really like the way they visualize him speaking too loud into his mind with giant words of text that
acclimating.
Are in this panel. Specifically the one where it's like, can you talk quieter in my head? Yes. Yeah. I thought that was really good.
The meteor hallucination of like explaining how they work. And like a lot of them died, and like the aliens, like it's just what they do. It's their nature. Like they're not evil. They're not symbiotic. It's like this is just how we live. We're not bad guys.
So, I love that actually. Yeah. The way, because normally when you get these stories of aliens, it's, I mean, ET being the exception, of course. It's either aliens are here to conquer and breed, or just take over. Or just like suck. It's like the aliens from Independence Day. Suck up the natural resources, biggity bounce. Whereas these aliens, when he's talking to the military guy, I love when Alden's like on the release. That's really cool. But one of my favorite parts is when Alden is at the end of the book when he's like, "Shut up, military guy. I'm talking," and he says these aliens just want to live.
Yeah.
They don't have a plan. They don't have a mission. They just want to survive. That's all they want to do, and you're just going to kill us in the process.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, I thought it was really good horror moment when Alden sees the alien take the top of the head off, and it's Wilton underneath. I thought that was a very strong reveal. I do think that like it's true that the book kind of keeps a very like tame level for most of it. It's not again like anything wildly new or anything like that, but I think that
everything has to be,
but I think the character story of Alden, this kid who feels like responsibility is very heavily on him, who lost his parents to a drunk driver, who feels very alone in a sense, and is kind of trying to find his way back to connecting with humanity, instead finds his way connecting to this mass communication of aliens, and how that leads into the end where he makes that choice. And I think the boldest part of the ending isn't just him putting on one of the aliens and becoming one of them, but it's also the agent's absolute bafflement to it, where the last line of the book is why, as he's going up, and he says we are not alone, but the just like absolute confusion, total like not being able to understand how this could happen and unable to relate, I thought was a very effective way to tell this arc for Alden.
There's a group of scientists that we meet, and then a couple of them get left behind in the final mission, and the oldest one gets to go with. And it's because she's the oldest one, and the other ones are younger, and they get to live a full life. And her whole thing is like, meeting extraterrestrials. I've wanted that my whole life. If it's the last thing I do, then I have no regrets. This is perfect. I will die happy.
I like Alden because when I first met him, and because when you're in that scene, you're in a farm setting. I'm guessing Middle America somewhere, and there's this kid on top of a truck. He's gonna be like this simple farm boy, but I love how sharp he is. Like when he's talking to that scientist lady that you said, Ryan, he straight up points out, like, you think there's a possibility we're gonna die, and you volunteered, didn't you? She's like, yeah.
You're smarter than you look, kid.
Yeah.
I love every time that people meet the aliens. Like it's never violent. It's just like, are you hungry? And then the second, like when his uncle meets him, Alden's like, hey, can you go get him anything to eat? And the uncle's running away. Anything in particular? And I just think it's just some subtle good comedy. I feel bad. Like not everything has to be a 10 out of 10 big epic alien thing, right? So like it's okay that this book is kind of quiet until the end. I think. I don't think that's a negative. I think it's a nice little book.
I think the reason why I was really engaged with this story was because I loved following Alden. I loved following how, like when he's at Maya's 16th birthday party and that his friend pushes him into the pool and he gets out and he realizes, oh shit, my friend's hurt, and he slips into a coma.
And he sees the alien face in the pool. Yeah,
he sees the alien's face in the pool, and then as he's going through, he's like trying to contact, he's trying to talk, he's also trying to figure out, but he's not. He just wants to know what's going on. He's curious, whereas you see Uncle Philip's friend Michael, the astronomy guy at the university, he just wants his hands on the damn meteorite, and all is like, chill, dude.
Right.
I like the two adults back and forth about the rock, and all is just like, okay, whatever, man.
I think the art is really, really unique.
Yeah.
It works for me on a lot of levels for this kind of story. Like we talked about with the alien design, I think is really cool. When you see them showing the brief pictures of the aliens attaching themselves to non-human beings and how that I thought was really like a horse and stuff. And I thought that was really interesting to see and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think the only part where the book really bogs down for me at all is just a bit before then and a little bit after, where we're a little too deep into the science military jargon, where I'm like, no, I get the idea. We're doing the we're afraid we don't know what they're going to do kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't need to sit in this conversation for that long. I care about what the characters are doing, and really, because of how this story is written, I just care about Alden.
Yeah.
I care about Wilton because we learned about Wilton with the gas station flashbacks, that kind of thing. And I care about his uncle to an extent, but none of the other characters am I allowed, and I think it's fine. I don't really connect to them because I don't spend time with them, and that's okay. I think that's all right, but that does make those moments kind of feel a little steep.
Yeah, I think Alden and the alien stuff is well worth the read.
Yeah. And I think that it's well visualized, the way that the aliens interact with the military pieces, how they come together. There's one particular visual near the end where they are coming together to prevent the force, and their heads are merging to each other.
Hell yeah.
They're
pulling a
really
Magneto.
Cool to see. Yeah.
All the missiles.
I thought that was really well done.
And some of them died too from the strain of it. Yeah.
Not even died. Like they don't die. Just the host.
The host died.
And the aliens will just move on. And one of them is the one Alden picks up when he chooses, I'm going to be of this now.
Of the hive.
I really like that the last page, when Alden is going up with the aliens, you see the only time you see Alden's parents. They are in the sky above him. It's Wilton and his uncle, and then his two friends, Maya, the girl he likes, and then his parents.
There's a conversation that he has with Wilton that almost can foreshadow him choosing to go with the hive mind.
Right.
And it's basically like all of the memories are going to be preserved throughout history. So like,
yes, this is a fantastic page where it's explaining that somewhere in another solar system 1,000 years from now, a person there is going to remember me shutting off a gas line for you. In a sense of joining them, you are becoming an immortal story.
That's the phalanx from X-Men, y'all.
Which I thought was a really cool story piece idea for them to choose to do with these aliens and the way they work.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a well realized little alien encounter story. I think it's really nice. Again, like I get a lot of like it's an indie comic. I get a lot of indie movie alien vibes from it.
Yeah.
So I liked it a lot. Brandon, you got anything else to add?
No, I'm good.
Checked out.
I did not check out. I'm having issues over here on my side.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah, the only other thing I would say about it is that I think, and I just want to know if you guys got the interpretation as well, and it's just an interesting little thing. The two teachers, they're a couple, yeah? The two male teachers?
I could read it that way.
Yeah.
I felt that way.
But it's not very clearly stated, but I was like, I feel like that's the case.
They're together so much, and they have such a strong relationship together.
And the way they interact with each other.
Yeah, I read it as like, are they? I mean, if they are, cool. If they're not, okay. But I was like, are they? I mean, that's not a main focus of the story.
No.
But at the same time, it's one of those things where you're like, I wonder.
You could read into it and be like, yeah, okay. Yeah.
I definitely do feel like it is a homosexual relationship representation in here, just very, very subtle.
Yeah.
But yeah. So overall, just like a good little book.
It was a nice cozy read to read this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ben, it's your turn next week.
It is.
Do you know what you're going to do? Please don't be Immortal Hulk Volume 3.
It's not going to be Immortal Hulk Volume 3.
Okay.
Well, as you guys know, I am in the middle of a move, so moving, all my books are now packed away. However, there is this great little app called Webtoon, and there's another story on there that I fall in love with that I found on 9gag and just fell into called Melancholy. So it's for free. If you have, you could download the Webtoon app. You could read it. It's on free. It's for free. So I'm thinking we should do the first 3 chapters. That's about 90 pages, and it's really they go by quick. So that will probably fill up it's like a manga essentially.
Okay.
Got it right here, baby. Cool.
Yeah.
Melancholia or Melancholy?
Melancholy.
Not the Lars von Trier movie.
No.
Okay, so stay tuned for that. We also don't know what we're going to be talking about as far as a topic goes. So stay tuned. We'll figure something out before Sunday, of course.
We always do.
Always do. Real quickly, I'll just say a happy birthday to Ben real quick. Early happy birthday to Ben and I before this weekend because we're turning 30 this week. So.
Well, you're turning 30 this coming Saturday. I'm turning 30 1 week from today. And it's before midnight, so I can still say that.
Just before just as you go into your week, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I don't want that. Shut up. Okay, so we also have guys, if you're watching this live stream, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel. It really helps our engagement. But you can also check out our other shows. Oh,
sorry, just real quick, we kind of forgot to mention it, but Brandon and I both found out this week that a friend of ours, Luigi, worked on the score for his Dark Materials Season 2 with the composer. Hold on, I have his name right here.
You got it.
Lauren Balfe. And that's really awesome. Luigi is really talented. He's been doing a lot of his own composing work for the entire time I've known him, that he's been creating things. So him getting to work on that score is incredible. And so shout out to our friend Luigi Jansen for getting to do that.
Whoa, Luigi, you made it!
Thank you for reminding me. I totally forgot. I wrote it down too. Right, so guys, there's other shows on this channel. I think our Crimes of Grindelwald episode is up.
It's still
on this channel.
On YouTube?
On YouTube.
I don't think on YouTube.
I'm not sure. I'll take a look. You go ahead and keep talking.
Well, either way, which is storing our Crimes of Grindelwald episode. We talked about that earlier.
Treasure.
You can find that on our feed, either audio or baby video. Who knows? I don't even know what
I would say look for audio. It's down there.
We also just released our Mandalorian Season 2, Chapters 9 and 10. Those are up right now with the link in the description, but you can just find them on this channel. We got a lot of cool Fake Nerds Watch. Basically, our after show, an episode airs. We do an episode talking about what just happened in that episode. We just finished Lovecraft Country. There's Swamp Thing. There's The Boys. There's The Umbrella Academy. There's Watchmen. There's Game of Thrones. That's how the whole thing started. So a lot of cool stuff there. We also have another show, Basement Arcade. Guys, you know what a Let's Play is? That's Basement Arcade. Play some video games. Play some video games. Let's hang out. Let's all do it. Here we go. Sparks, what are you doing? Come on, Sparks. There you go.
Playing a video game.
Right. So you can check out those Basement Arcades. I had a lot of cool spooky stuff in October. The Animal Crossing video is in the description below. You can also find it on the channel, of course. Got Dead Space. Got Dead by Daylight. You got Left 4 Dead. Lots of deads.
Oh, the deads. They're all dead, guys.
We're already dead, as Zack Snyder would say.
It's true.
We also have our Fake Nerd Book Club, our freshman show, our newest show, kind of the show that we do whenever we can. We just recorded our final episode of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic book series written by Kyle Higgins. Just be clear, we just read Kyle Higgins' run, and not going forward beyond that. We picked a new book. Slight correction, in the episode, we do say it's Immortal Hulk. However, after talking with Ben after the show, it is, what is it, Ben?
It is another webcomic, funny enough.
Bye, Mag.
Bye, Mag.
Oh, good night, Mag.
Have a good night, bud.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, it is another webcomic. It is a Pokemon parody strip called Little Char and the Gang. It's really cute. It's adorable.
Our Crimes of Grindelwald review is not on our YouTube channel. It's only on our audio feed.
All right. Shovel through that audio feed. We also have masks, guys. Hey, part of the reason why I'm not excited for my birthday is because nobody wore their masks and we all got stuck indoors for 8 months. So, hey, we got Crafted by Z masks that have got our Fake Nerd Podcast logo. The logo behind us right now. That logo is on a mask. Guys, don't you want to support your 15th favorite podcast?
It's getting lower every week.
You can buy those buy those at the links in the description below. We also have Patreon and a TeePublic if you want to support us that way. TeePublic got a lot of cool shirts. Fake Nerd Book Club, Fake Nerd Podcast, Bread and Butter, Basement Arcade. Coming soon, some more stuff. Don't be a dick, of course. So you can all check those out, buy those, support us there. I also have masks attached to those too, so you can buy those masks too. You want a mask that just says "Don't be a dick" on the face? Do that. Well, that has a different connotation. We also have a Patreon, one tier on Patreon, where you get a lot of cool stuff on there. We don't believe in paid content, honestly. But if you want to support us through this time, through any time, we do try to make it worth your while. Thank you, Joey Zahn, for supporting us still. Or you can find all those links on our what's it called? It's called the website. On our website, where you can find us on www.fakenerdpodcast.com, or all the links are in the description below. Find them there, whatever you want. All right, thank you to Jeremy Bellucci. He does our theme song that you heard on this live stream. He did our intro music that you're going to hear on the audio after this. You definitely check out some of his stuff at Jeremy Bellucci Keyboards, or you can check out his podcast, Suburban Proctologist Official. Notice what's coming. You can find it on iTunes, facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official, or on Instagram @SubProc Podcast. Mike Matola. Hey, I don't mean to spoil it, but we may have something cool coming from Mike Matola soon.
I took a day off of work, baby. We better be happening.
Just throwing that out there. That might be coming. But Mike Matola, if you don't know who that is, dude's awesome. Check out that logo in the corner. That's his.
Yeah, he drew that. He gave it to us.
Also, our Fake Nerd Book Club logo and our Fake Nerd and our Miscellaneous logo, which is a show that's still happening, I guess.
It's there.
Find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Ben?
You can find me on the internet at BenMagnet27 on Instagram and Twitter. And also, I write for OldSchoolGamerMagazine.com. I'm moving. I haven't written anything yet. I'm busy.
Sparks.
You can find me still celebrating democracy here at Sparks Witty on Instagram, SPARKZ Witty.
Ryan, I'm sorry.
You can find me reserving a new space at the Four Seasons Landscaping at DJ Tony Snark and Twitch DJ Tony Snark 616. It's funny forever. You got him. You got him. Take that, Rudy.
I still cannot believe I actually looked that up. It's between a crematorium and an adult bookstore.
Love it.
How do you mess that up?
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcast. Rate and review. Get us. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Until next week, guys.
Donald Trump, get the fuck out of here.
Stay fake nerds.